All right. I'm not streaming on Discord yet, am I? Haha.
Yeah, I was like, huh,
No,
usually I
not
have
yet.
a video.
Classic. Okay.
There we go.
There's a stream. So as for what happened last time, you guys were roused from your weird dreams, or at least Valente was, to the sight of a large scaly creature rustling around in the backyard. Turned out to be a white beast, was carried off by some manner of scaly creature. Millicent chased after it. You guys all caught up to all these animals that are hanging around up here, to discover that there is in fact a Manakete living in the mountains. His name is Lars, and he has a pet white beast named Atla. Both of them, or rather Lars, volunteered both of them to have a little roughhousing fun time at 5 a.m. with all of you, in exchange for some rewards. Which he handed out. I believe there were 2 tokens that let you use Sed's shrine for free, and then a flute that, when played, good or bad, doesn't matter, will summon him for 1 battle as an ally. So he gave all of that stuff to you. He said, all right, sounds good, I'll be here if you need me, and he sent you back on your way down the mountain. You guys are at this point traveling back to Godfrey's house.
Before we get into it too much, who has the tokens, by the way?
You do.
I do? Okay.
Archibald was handed the tokens and the flute, since Archibald got the final blow, and also Lars likes Archibald. Archibald's cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was another major thing. So I forgot to mention
the first A support.
I forgot to mention support's real and can hurt you. They range from F to S. F means the character will physically try to altercate with you. S means you're either besties forever, besties, or like you're married. You can do platonic as support. That's fine.
Val has Lars's flute in his inventory at the moment.
Okay.
But
Do we have a support sheet, or is that not a thing?
Sam showed us.
I have a table for all of the NPCs, but I will allow you to decide how you feel about other characters. I will not make judgments on how you guys feel, because well, they're you. But yes, there is. Where is this big table held? I think it's in my secret document. But I will update that table at the end of every session and then post, like, here's how everyone feels about you. But yeah, basically, if you get an F support, that means whatever you've done, it's absolutely terrible in this character's eyes, and they hate you enough to possibly commit a violence. And if you get an A support, that means you are now real good friends, and the character will either give something to you or do like an action for you, something helpful. You will get something good out of it, usually an item, sometimes like a major stat boost or something like that. But yeah, support's real. Does anyone have any questions before we begin?
And if you reach F support, ever get out of F support?
Yes, you can get out. You can get out of any support. You can actually lose support points, because as we all know, you can actually worsen your relationship with people in real life. So you can get all the way to S support, but then if you like kill their friend,
shout out
you anymore.
Shout out.
Oh my god, divorce.
Yeah, you can get divorced.
This is the greatest game of all. You can get divorced.
I feel the need to point out, or I guess public audience, that that on this sheet we have, Godfried has 3 D level supports. One of them is with me, duh. One of them is with Ollis, the murderer wannabe, and the other is with himself.
Oh yeah. You can have support levels with yourself.
Oh god.
And he does.
He really does.
Going through it.
I think the only character is the only NPC that has an A support with themselves is Amalthea.
Amalthea's young. She's full of hope. She hasn't seen the horrors of the world yet. She's feeling good about herself.
Good for her.
She should. She's
She
very
should.
cool.
Garrett
Yeah,
has
she's
a
a
B
cool
support with
person.
himself. He's like, he's chilling.
Like, he's chilling, which is great. It's great for him. I love that for him.
Love that for him. But yes, you can't support yourself.
No. Millicent has an A support with Millicent.
Millicent has like an
Okay.
A or B support with everyone.
Because she's a dog.
Because she is a dog.
Millicent sees someone like not kill Godfried and is like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah, that's Millicent has very simple morality. It's, did you hurt someone that I like? Die. Did you not do that? I love you. Because she
Oh,
is
God.
a dog.
I nearly choked on my water. I don't know.
That was Millicent's
Yeah,
power.
I heard it.
She did
It,
that.
like,
But yes, every NPC that you guys encounter, including the evil ones, the enemies perhaps, at least the ones that are capable of like thinking for themselves and having opinions, will end up on this sheet. I will update it continuously. I will post it in our Discord server.
Wait,
Yeah?
Sam.
Hi.
Atla's on there.
Atlas got opinions. I mean, they're not
know
advanced
Atlas-
opinions,
Oh,
but...
yeah, because Millicent is on. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
You
There-
hit Atla with a sword. Atla's got
I know.
opinions.
I know. I feel that. I understand that.
Atla has opinions. Sam's saying, "Oh, but if someone's like possessed or a zombie,
Yeah, if you're like
no."
undead, you don't have a brain anymore, and therefore you can't have opinions. But you can have opinions towards that character. If you find an undead character and you'd like to have a one-sided support with that character, I will allow it because that sounds hilarious.
yeah, you hear
Oh,
that,
God.
you hear that, Orson?
Orson
The
reacts
funniest-
only.
Darling.
I mean,
Darling.
Orson, that's definitely Orson for sure, but my first thought was that story of that person that married the homeless Skyrim NPC.
Oh my god.
And he died,
Yeah.
and like the kids saw.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Amazing.
Alright. Does anyone have any other questions before I get started? We're good? Alright. So, you guys are trudging down the mountainside at this point. You are exhausted. You did not get even close to a full night of sleep. You've just done battle with 2 dragons. You ran up a mountain. It's been a long morning, and the sun is well into the sky at this point. You were fighting for a while, so it's maybe like not quite noon, but like it's getting there.
April Fools and the Dragon Rumble were in the same night.
Yeah, you guys have had like the night ever.
Been
Uh,
a night.
You guys didn't really have time to process that wacky dream that you had, and you were just immediately thrown into another adventure. But that's life. Hopefully you'll have some time to rest, in the future. But as you start heading down the mountain, you see like the cabin in the distance, like through the trees. It's still quite a ways away, but you know you'll be there soon. Millicent's getting excited. She's like, "Oh, time to go home. I can't wait to sleep on the floor." But she seems to be the only one among your traveling companions that's actually like raring to go. Everyone else is kind of pooped. But before you can get down to the cabin and either crawl back into bed or go among your business, something flies towards you from the sky. Something small and gray and winged.
Pigeon?
Perhaps a pigeon.
Pigeon.
As you guys all turn your eyes towards the sky, it's the first bird you've seen all day that's not like one of those big ass crows that just kind of screams, or one of those fat little birds. This is the first normal bird you've seen all day. The pigeon, it kind of circles above you once before landing on the top of Edwin's head.
Oh.
It pecks your forehead.
Ow. Does it have a note attached to it or anything? Can I grab it off of my head?
You raise your hand to feel around for the pigeon, and the pigeon allows itself to be lifted off your head. And as you look at it, and it just kind of sits in your arms, looking expectantly, you do see that it has something attached to its leg, perhaps a small paper.
Okay. I will take the paper. Does the pigeon leave, or can I like hand it to someone?
The pigeon does not immediately leave. The pigeon is just kind of like, well, are you gonna write back? Even though you haven't even opened it yet.
Yeah. I hand the pigeon to whoever's standing closest to me. I don't know who wants the pigeon.
I'll
I'll hold the pigeon.
Oh.
Okay, Archibald can hold the pigeon.
Well,
hand
shit. No one
I
says
hand the pigeon
anything,
to
and then
Archibald.
no one says anything, and then we say it at the exact same time.
Hilarious.
The pigeon,
Yeah.
after being handed off to Archibald, considers Archibald with a squinted eye, and then immediately starts pecking his fingers with fervor.
Ow! Shut up! Ow! What did I do?
Sorry.
Val sticks his hands out for the pigeon if Archibald wants to give it up.
He's just sort of holding it at a distance, just letting it do what it's doing.
Eventually, it does tire itself out, but it still gives you the stink eye, clearly smelling something on you that it finds untrustworthy.
Are we done?
The pigeon does not
I'll
respond.
read the note.
Alright, you're reading the note? Trikey, I'm about
Yes.
to drop a bunch of stuff into your, DMs. You are welcome to read aloud,
Okay.
or if you do not want to, I will read aloud. It's up to you.
Okay, I will. We'll see.
It's not gonna save my fucking... Oh, hold on. I
Uh-oh.
gotta share, because my document has a... What do you call it?
Stuff.
It's got like,
And
formatting. And Discord does not want to format. Alright.
Oh.
There you go, Trikey. If you want to read aloud, go ahead. If you want me to read aloud, let me know.
Edwin is holding the letter, and he says, oh, it says it's to me and others. It doesn't say who, it just says others. I'm sure you can assume who this letter is from based on the method of delivery, but in case you have already tried your best to forget me, it's Alice. Hey, it's Alice, you guys!
Oh,
Oh, cool, he's not dead!
Oh, well, I don't know how old this is, I guess I should keep reading. It's Alice, the maid you mercifully spared at Braggy's Tower. I'm sure you'd rather I didn't attempt communication since we got off to an awfully terrible foot, and I believe I promised to never seek any of you out again before boarding that merchant ship, but I've gotten myself in a bit of a pickle since the last time we spoke. Well, I think we knew that.
Yeah.
He didn't know we knew that though.
Yeah.
yeah, why would
fair.
we know that?
We didn't tell him where we were going, so he probably didn't think we would find him. As you can probably assume, I did not in fact make it to Arcanea, far from it. My father spared no expense hiring help to retrieve me after just a single day's lapse in communication. I am alive, thankfully, but I can't say the same for the crew of the vessel I was playing patron to. Yeah. Of course he would hire the capital's most brutal family to see to my rescue, and by the gods was he furious to hear that I was not, in fact, kidnapped by merchants looking to demand ransom. Oh. Well, he said, I think he's saying he got tortured a little bit, but he says he's fine.
Define torture.
Well, he didn't really, he's being, like, subtle about it, but I think that's what he's saying.
Just read the
But he
note.
said he's fine. Well, he says, I was never cut out for torture, speaking as both a victim and a participant.
That's not good.
Yeah, he said, but see, the next thing he says is, I am fine now. So that's where I was going. Apparently, he tolerates me enough to keep me living in his home, though I've been stripped of my rank and title. I'll inherit no land, and my future in the military has fizzled out to nothing. Not a terrible surprise, but that is what he said would happen. He says it's as the orange-haired sword of your party said it would be. No one speaks to me unless required. My friends have pushed me from their minds. My siblings won't dine with me. My new employers laugh at my failure when they think I'm not listening. Oh,
He won't even remember
um,
He imprinted on Edwin when Edwin asked to save him.
Yeah, he did also spell my name wrong a couple times, so I don't think he remembers most of our names, actually.
How do you misspell Edwin?
Well, he ended up with Evan.
What?
What? I'm glad the pigeon knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
He says he got a new job. He says I've been placed in a new working arrangement now that my future as a mage is forfeit. I sweep the entrance hall of one of Valhalla's many prisons. One of the higher security ones, but I'd hardly call it a career worth looking forward to. I'm not allowed near any of the cells, but even so, I feel as though I am the one behind bars at this moment. He does have a lot to say, I think.
Does he say where the prison is?
He says he doesn't know why he's writing this, but he just wanted someone to talk to, I think. He says he's safe, but he'd rather be in Arcanea.
Well, yeah.
He says he says that he hopes we're all okay. And he says to watch out for the mages that wear those robes. 'Cause they've been going farther every day, and we're probably the kind of people that they'd like to catch. He says he hopes that we didn't keep Lothair with us, 'cause she's kind of a walking target. So that was probably a good decision on her part. He says don't attempt to contact him because pigeons flying into the city are checked. If anything eventful happens, he'll send another missive. And he says good day.
That letter weirdly brings back memories.
Val just gives Archibald a look of like, dude, your life sounds so weird.
Well, you know.
And then Val goes,
Valhalla is Valhalla.
well, at least we know he isn't dead.
Yeah.
But oh god.
Maybe we'll run into him.
He's in Valhalla, which we do eventually need to go to, but I didn't think going right now was the best idea, given our manpower at the moment.
Yeah.
It sounds like we'll run into those mages that captured him first before we run into him.
Yeah, he said they were hold on, I'm looking for it. He said it's the capital's most brutal family that were sent to rescue him, which, well, at least we know that's the worst it could be, right? With the dead people.
Gare looks at you as if, like, incredulous that there could be a worse thing than just exploded human everywhere.
Who is his dad? Did he say who his dad is?
No. He just said his father was the one who wanted him back.
And that's where he got his holy blood from, I believe.
He said he has his full name on this letter, which is Alice Gulshan. I can put that in the chat if you guys want.
Yes, please.
Whoops, that's my DM to Sam still.
Ah, vital
Give
information.
Sam, yeah, give Sam the sweet details.
School Gulshan. Well, I guess you have a pen pal now, Edwin.
Yeah, but he did say not to write back to him.
A one-sided pen pal.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep this. Maybe we can find him.
Yeah, maybe.
And
I know
stab his
that's
dad on the way.
I know that's not why we're here, but it would be nice since we did kind of get him in the trouble.
I mean, he kind of got himself in trouble, but I see
that-
like there wasn't really any other options
Yeah.
for him.
Val Edwin a look of like, you have so much hope that is so misplaced. And I was like, no, did you
Little
not
guy
hear him?
solidarity.
He's in Valhalla, and he was just known for trying to escape the cult. They're not going to let him out of their sight, ever. He's there
Yeah.
forever now, unless we do something.
Fortunately, the fact that he's got a apparently rich and, frankly, kind of stuck-up sounding father probably is going to keep him off of any, like, human sacrifice list, but you never know.
Octavia looks
well-
up to the actual people from like recent Jugdral and is kind of like a face like, do they do that still?
They all collectively kind of shrug, unsure.
Oh God.
Well, if we run into him, it would be nice, but I guess we have to see what happens when we head to Valhalla.
Amalthea just kind of like looks at you and says, "Huh. I don't know if we're gonna get to Valhalla, but it'd be kind of sad if that weird little man died. He was weird, but he wasn't bad. I mean, he was a little bad, but like, who isn't?"
Yeah.
He wanted to do better. God fucking damn it.
Oh no, he's got Val.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
The pigeon resumes its pecking at Archibald's fingers.
Why? What did I do to you?
The pigeon begins biting your fingers.
That
I
offers to
convinced,
take it again.
I convinced the guy who feeds you that. Well,
That's
here.
not how- Okay,
I
Val.
just hand the pigeon to the nearest person, whoever that is.
Val literally was offering to take the pigeon.
Once the pigeon is in Val's hands, it sort of sticks its leg out to you like, well, pen your response, idiot!
What did I do? I'm the one who most wanted him alive. Why does the bird hate me?
Because you're a lizard.
It beeps at you.
Val gently strokes its head and goes, well, we can't write to him. But... fuck.
Maybe
Can we
wanna...
save it? Will the pigeon go away?
I'm sure if I let him go, he will.
Well, I mean, he said they checked the pigeons going back to the city. I don't think they have any reason to, well, I guess how do you get a pigeon out of the sky to check if it has a... Well...
Magic.
If their main method of communication with the other mages across the Jugdral continent, I'm sure they've figured out a method.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if they just shoot it, but... I mean, it is a pigeon, and frankly, at this point, his fate's in his own feathers, talons, whatever.
The pigeon squawks at you again.
Fuck you.
Archibald hopes this one gets shot down.
Yeah, Val is just gonna let go of the pigeon.
The pigeon hops out of
not
your
drop it.
hands.
But let go of it.
The pigeon hops out of your hands, fluttering to the ground. It looks up at you for a second, just kind of, strutting around a little bit like how pigeons do. But after a few moments of no one handing it a letter, it kind of just like cocks its head at you, hops a couple more times, and then flies up into the air, back from whence it came.
I've been a dick to a lot of things in life, but never to wildlife. This is the one situation where it's unfair. Why does everything hate me?
It's
It
trying
probably thinks you can eat it.
This is true. It also might just be trying to exert dominance.
What? So you think it thinks I'm like the alpha male or something? Because it was fine with everyone else.
Amalthea leans over to you and she says, "Well, pigeons and dragons are kind of similar, right? They're both basically lizards. One flies. I guess some dragons fly."
Val doesn't know this, but I do. Can someone please tell Amalthea she's absolutely correct?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I just sort of pat Amalthea on the head. You're more right than you know, actually, though that's,
What can I say? I'm a little bit of a scholar. And then she flips her hair a little bit.
I love her.
Val pats her head affectionately.
All right. The house is nearly in sight. Would you guys like to continue walking?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too far to check out Merope's house, I guess, right now. And I think Octavia's coming down with the cold.
Oh yeah, who did I
naps.
say is getting a cold? I think it was Amalthea.
It was like Olivia or Octavia and Edwin.
Octavia and Edwin. Yeah, as you guys trudge your way down the mountain, you start getting like, you feel a little bit of aches in your bones, a little bit of a sniffle. It's obvious that something wicked this way comes. Probably just a cold, but that's summer in Salice, am I right?
I throw my cloak at whoever's nearest to me. Of the two of them.
Do you want to flip a coin to see which one of us it is?
I probably have a cloak. Well, we both have cloaks.
Yeah, we both have cloaks.
But you're coming down with a cold, so, clearly not enough.
I do have a coat, so I got a coat in town.
That's true. Edwin didn't get a coat. He can take Archibald's cloak.
Yeah.
Amalthea has put her hood up again and tied the string so that only like the middle portion of her face is poking out once more.
Yeah, because she. Oh.
Apparently, I chucked it to Edwin, according to the dice.
Whoa!
It works out.
Even if he chucked it to Octavia, I think she would have just handed it to him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity for a joke there, but whatever.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Moving on. No, it didn't happen. Don't think about it. That reality didn't. This isn't that reality. I handed the nerd boy the cloak. We're moving on.
Okay.
All right. After another maybe 15 minutes of walking, you arrive at the front door of the house again. Alika is where you left her, except she is now very much asleep in a chair, still holding the sword that she brought out with her, thankfully sheathed, so she's not in danger of cutting herself up while she, like, hugs it, but she's asleep on a chair on the porch. And as Millicent, tactfully unlocks and opens the door with her dog mouth, Godfrey is just gonna wake his mother up and be like, okay, it's time to go inside. And as Alika wakes up, she just kind of blearily looks at all of you for a second, confused as to why there's so many people on her porch, but she doesn't say anything. She just goes back inside. You are all welcome to enter the house.
Octavia enters and is immediately gonna restart the fire.
Yeah. Edwin can probably just start it for her.
Great, thanks. She'll just get the logs and then she's just gonna hunker down in front of it
Yeah.
and sniffle like,
Yeah.
Sees her sniffle and goes, "Whoa, are you all right?"
Yeah, I think I just got some snow in my boots and it's giving me a cold. I think it's the same for Edwin and Amalthea too.
Edwin just like nods because his nose is stuffy.
Amalthea groans slightly.
Val looks uncharacteristically panicked, and then goes,
"Oh no."
Oh no.
"Oh, okay," and like sits down on the couch in like a really stiff manner, where it's clear that he's like trying to pretend that this is fine, but he's no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Maybe I could, if it's okay with Godfrey, could you make us soup?
Godfried, who is finished hanging up his cloak and coat on one of the pegs on the wall, he looks at you and he says, "I can find something, probably," and then meanders over to the kitchen.
I'll help.
Oh no.
Since I'm not, cold and diseased or whatever.
Okay.
Did a car horn just go off somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Okay, I heard only the first, millisecond of a car horn, but it was loud and then got cut off. So I thought I just, had a weird auditory hallucination or something like...
Yeah, I mean, the car did beep right when you said that, but, super quietly, so I don't think even my fucked up...
No, I heard it. I heard it.
I think it wasn't... I'm saying I don't think it was my side of it. Because not even my fucked up mic could have picked up something that quiet.
All right.
Whatever happened to some car somewhere just, participated in the last syllable of the last word I said, and it confused the fuck out of me. Sorry. Go on.
All right. So let's get a vibe check as to where everyone is. Valente, you are on the couch, having a terrible time. As you are having a terrible time, Amalthea is going to shuffle up to you, her hood still up, her face still just a tiny little hole in the middle. She's going to sit next to you, and she's gonna kind of just lean. She's gonna lean against you. You're warm.
Val's going to wrap her in a hug and say, "I happen to know how to press on a face to help clear sinuses, if you want that."
She groans loudly and you can tell that she would very much appreciate any help.
Okay. Val's gonna take off his gauntlets and he starts rubbing her sinus area in a specific way that he learned back when Isaiah was very sick.
She seems to appreciate it, but she does sneeze on your hands.
Val doesn't seem too worried about that.
After you're finished, she undoes her hood because she still had her hood up this whole time. And her hoodie is wet, so maybe that's not a great idea. Cause she flopped around the snow a little bit during battle. You all did. But she seems to be doing a little bit better now. She puts her feet up on the couch, and she just kind of basks in your warmth.
We're gonna want to take off all your wet clothes, kid. It's only gonna make you worse.
She groans as she gets to her feet, shuffling off to the other room. She reappears a few moments later holding a bunch of clothes that look pretty much the same as what she's usually wearing. Villager clothes. They all pretty much look the same before going into the bathroom and locking the door. So She's going to get changed, conduct her business.
She does that. Val takes off all of his armor. So because the metal is still very cold, honestly. Yeah.
All right. While Valente and Amalthea are getting more comfortable, clean and comfortable and warm, Edwin, what are you up to?
Everyone probably sat in front of the fire, and like you know how sometimes you'll like sit down, and then you'll be like, I'd rather be laying down, and you just like lay down right there.
Like a cat.
It's that kind of deal. Yeah, just like laying on the floor.
You don't manage to take up the entire space in front of the fire. It's a kind of an awkward corner. So you can only stretch across the floor so much, but you're gonna hear the sound of someone sitting heavily on the floor behind you, and if you were to look back, you would see that Gare is just kind of like holding his hands over the fire over you. He's also
Yeah.
chilly. He didn't get a cold, but Archibald is hardly a warm creature. Archibald is cold-blooded.
Yeah, he was just wearing his winter clothes, like, to bed and everything. He was already fully prepared at all times.
Yeah, he all of you managed to grab your cloaks and such before running out, but Gare's clothes are, I guess, naturally inclined towards winter weather because he's got the fur collar. So
Yeah.
he was all set for the winter. The
Got
only
the
thing he
cloak with
hated
the
was
fur.
the climbing. So you two are getting nice and toasty. Octavia, what are you up to? Where are you?
I feel like there's no room at the fire anymore, so probably after a little bit, she just, as she's warming up, she removes like her armor and kind of her boots and tries to put them a little bit to the side so that way they're drying. And then she maybe she gets up and sees if did Millicent take her blanket?
Millicent is not currently in the room.
Octavia's gonna take Millicent's blanket, wrap it around herself, and then like curl up on the couch, on the other couch.
You sneeze a little bit as a dog hair enters and then exits your nose, but it is warm, so. Yes, the couch is all for Octavia. Alika has disappeared somewhere into the house. You can assume she's in her room because, well, she's not in the living room, and the only other living space in the whole house is a storage room full of cots right now, and she probably isn't hanging out in there alone, so she's probably in her room. She was up presumably a significant portion of the early morning, waiting out, looking for bears that might have trespassed on the property. Whether or not those bears exist, only she knows. But she is off on her lonesome. Archibald, you are, I assume, in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, helping Godfried, I don't know, get a soup or whatever he's got going.
No, you go.
And for the first little bit of time, Archibald is just going to help because people are actually hungry and just like, so, what have you got in terms of, food?
He immediately
whatever.
sends you outside to go check the icebox for whatever you can find, is what he says. And Millicent is happy to hold the back door open for you as you do so.
All right. What do I find out there? Just like
the icebox has not like a lot of food in it, but like enough for all of you probably. There's some like vegetables that have clearly been in here for a little bit of time. A fish, something wrapped in paper that you can't discern the identity of even when you smell it. But it seems to be some sort of fruit object. But lots of ice as well.
Well, I mean, if we're going for a stew sort of thing, I'll grab like, the edible looking meat and some of the vegetables that would go good in like, a broth or whatever, and grab that and carry it back in. presumably I'm allowed in.
The door is still open. Millicent has been holding it open for you.
Thank you, Millicent.
She barks at you. She seems to have warmed up to your presence. After you shouted orders at her on the battlefield. And she lived. She enjoys the fact that she lived.
That's good.
Yeah. Trustworthy man. Got me alive. But you head back into the kitchen, and at this point, Gottfried has put a bunch of water in a pot, and it's on the stove, and he's just kind of like looking at it, waiting for it to boil. Just
I
kinda hanging
brought
out.
I brought the stuff that seemed the most, good. Still, you got some stuff there that's, I don't know how long your mother's left some of the, yeah.
He takes the stuff from you, and he looks it over, and he says, it should be fine. It's only been a few weeks, I assume. And then he smells one of the vegetables, thinks for a minute, and then nods to himself, like, yeah, only a few weeks.
You're gonna need more out there for feeding everyone here, or you don't want to leave her alone. The stuff that's left out there is like, well, I couldn't tell what it was, so.
He turns away from you, and he goes to start cutting things up on the countertop, and he says, yeah, Merope usually goes to the store when I'm not here, so she'll probably return with food when she next comes.
I guess I will assist on the other side of the kitchen with cutting up some of the, like, vegetables or whatever needs to get ready.
Yeah, he hands you a bunch of vegetables as
because,
he gets to work removing the head of the fish.
Yeah, fun thing about Archibald is, despite him, like, living like a goblin, he is, in fact, like, 2,000 years old and knows how to make food. He has at least learned
He's lived
once
this
in his
long,
life.
hasn't he?
Yeah.
As you cut up the vegetables, Godfrey's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna do what he's gotta do over there in his part of the kitchen.
Yep.
But Millicent is going to walk up to you, sit down right next to you, well within your personal space, and start whining. She looks up at you.
Do I give her anything? I'm asking Godfrey.
He just kind of makes a noise like, eh.
I'll, like, chuck her as I'm cutting different things. I'll chuck her like a piece or two of, various vegetables as I go.
Millicent seems overjoyed that you are sharing your bountiful meal with her.
All right.
Does Archibald know what vegetables dogs can and can't eat?
I mean, he's not throwing her too much of anything anyway. Like a little bit of carrot, a little bit of, like, I don't know, leafy thing. It would be much easier to say this if I knew what was actually. It would be much easier to do that little improv bit if I actually knew what sort of food I was working with. But whatever.
You don't know what sort of food you're working with in character either, so.
No, yeah, it's all kind of dubious.
Yeah,
but,
I will just say, I really hope you aren't feeding her bad stuff, because, like,
I'm not,
this is not a vegetable, but, like, even one grape can, like, severely fuck up a dog for a while.
I don't think there's anything approaching a grape that's still intact.
It's all like leafy stuff. You can identify carrots. You can identify, like, celery.
Yeah, okay. That stuff
Love
should.
the crunch.
Yeah, she loves the crunch. But yeah, she eats all the
Poison Godfrey's dog, please.
F support gained.
God. Oh God.
Archibald doesn't like hate animal. Like he's like I was saying, he's a dick to many things, but actually never really to animals. Like, he never has been. Nature just kind of hates him. Like, his hatred of Archibald is justified in many situations, but nature is just kind of against him arbitrarily.
As after you finish tossing her whatever scraps you can pull off without severely damaging the amount of food you have to give to everyone else, she licks the floor a couple times before yapping at you as if to say, "Thanks, man," and then wanders over to where Godfried is standing and just kind of like flops around by his feet for a little bit. He does not give her anything, but she seems to be entertained by the idea of attacking his sock.
After a few minutes of continued food preppery, still just sort of working away, I will say out loud across the room to Godfrey, I assume the door to the other part of the building is closed, right?
The door is currently open. You
Yeah.
walked through it, unless you closed it behind you.
I did.
Oh, okay, then it's closed.
Archibald would have. But Archibald says out loud, I guess I sort of owe you an apology, sort of,
for
last
what?
night. In that dream, which I think we all know really wasn't a dream, come on. I asked you that question about, the whole motivation blood thing, and I kind of kept the question open-ended, figuring it'd give you wiggle room. But in retrospect, I guess that was kind of just sort of putting you on the spot to fail. Like, just sort of, I don't know, in hindsight, it kind of feels more dickish to sort of prod at you when I could have just sort of asked the question instead of watching you, like, eat shit.
He stops cutting the fish for a minute. He's just kind of staring at the counter a little bit, as if he's just now realizing that was perhaps not just a weird fucking dream.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah, I know that feeling. I get it.
And then he looks.
No,
no, you go.
I've turned to look at him if he's looking at me.
He's yeah, sure. He's looking at you now. It's a little side eye.
I mean, it's pretty clear, like me, and that's entirely fair. So frankly, I'm just going to ask the question, and I don't, I guess, like you that much either. But at this point, I might as well just ask you the questions to sort of solve my problem. Then we'll, see how that goes from there.
What sort of question?
Are you trying to attain immortality by drinking the blood of
he looks you
lizards?
Squarely in the eye, and there's a solid 30 seconds of complete silence, broken only by the sound of Millicent squirming. He does not move. He does not move to cut the fish or to, like, grab you or do anything. But he's just completely frozen. And then after this long, tense silence, he says, "Why on earth would you think I'm trying to do anything like that?"
I feel like from your response to that question that you don't quite know the history of the continent as well as I thought you might have, which is comforting, actually.
I mean, you hear stories, but
the blood of giant lizard creatures has and using lizard blood, dragon blood specifically, has a history here.
So I've heard.
Do you know about Gare? Not that one. Not the one in the other room. The Emperor Gare. Gaul originally is what we called them back in the, but language is weird.
He like looks at you and he's like, I mean, I've heard the vaguest of myths. I don't really pay attention to that kind of thing. I'm not one for stories.
Well, let me tell you a story, though. This is a story you're probably going to want to know.
As you talk, he begins to slowly go back to cutting the fish.
Same. So, Gare, I guess. Why do we call him Gare now? That's weird. And why is the other guy named Gare? That's anyway, whatever. Gare was, I say, like, sort of stop and start as I'm working to cut up the vegetables and, whatever. It was the. I'm double checking my lore here before I say this. The Gare was the first founder of the Empire here, the Loptrain Empire, way back before, well, before my time, though I guess not that far. He was a person, but before that, he was just a priest who had it in his head that it would be a good idea to try and obtain, the powers of immortality and eternal youth by, drinking the blood of legendary dragons.
As you say
That
that,
might have been
you can imperceptibly see that his hand tightens a little bit on the knife.
he it didn't quite work out for him in the immortality thing. He's not really like around anymore. He died. But before he did so, uh, he did end up drinking some blizzard blood. Specifically, he made a blood pact with a dragon named Loctus. Do you know that name?
Definitely.
Yeah, Loctus.
Hmm.
One of my the lord or whatever of the earth dragons. Oh,
Did
my
you know him?
No, not directly. My grandparents did. They would have been like generals or something. There was a long time
That's
before I
quite
was
the
born.
heritage.
Yeah, I'm not descended. No, I'm not descended from him. Oh,
Still, his generals.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, uh, yeah, he did that, and he went seeking power through Loftus, and they built with that sort of power a and desire for, you know, immortality, godhood, what have you. A few back-to-back empires built off of the foundations of murder, human sacrifice, uh, the child hunts. The child hunts were always a big deal. That was not pleasant to witness. Uh, and basically, that sort of chain of decisions and that sort of path is the reason why everything here, waving my hands vaguely around at the world, is fucked up as it is, obviously, now.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to tell me that this place is fucked up. I live here.
Yeah. So did I. Not here, but the you can understand why I would be concerned with this if your whole thing with turning up out of nowhere on the side of the road and being on your own private man against the world quest to like hunt down ancient, quote unquote, ancient lizard monsters and harvest their blood for healing purposes and the power of sight. You can understand why I see that as uh alarming. It's kind of shadows of history here.
Well, I guess you would have that perspective, but I can assure you the only reason I'm hunting these creatures is because their blood has healing properties, and conventional or not, I am a healer. So.
Yeah, no. The fact that you didn't know, the fact that I saw how wide your eyes got at some of the more horrifying stuff I said there, that's, does make me feel better about this.
He's not going to respond to that. He's just going to go back to doing his thing.
Well, I'm tempted to. Well,
No, you
I
go.
was gonna
You go.
say,
You go.
I'm tempted to ask more about like why you're into all this. I feel like that'd be a bit nosy at this point, given this conversation. I feel like you wouldn't take well to that. I'm just sort of reading the room here.
No, it's fine. You already asked the question after all. I didn't lie. My mother is very sick, and I don't know with what, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
You didn't do it.
No.
Didn't we do an insight check and he was lying?
Perhaps.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Archibald knows that, but he's not like in the moment. He's not thinking about. He's in the moment. He's
just checking that wasn't how I didn't miss.
Yeah, he totally lied the first time. It's just like
who can say?
Or just like
the only way these two are gonna get along is like slightly a bit of lying.
Yeah.
Time.
Just a little bit of liar's footsie.
Yeah.
But as you guys continue standing around in the kitchen, Archibald, you feel what can only be like described as a cold draft against the back of your neck.
I turn to look.
Nothing there. It's just cold.
Huh. Is there like a window open in here or something?
Godfried looks at the window. It is closed. He shakes his head. He goes back to his business.
I just felt like a draft or something.
It's an old house. There's drafts.
Can I get some sort of check for that?
Yeah, of course.
That sort of.
What would you like to check?
I guess perception for what that. Do I like feel or see anything around the room that's like?
Currently? No. You just
No,
felt a
I
cold
don't even have
draft
to
against
check.
your neck.
Can I roll an insight check for him then?
An insight check for him? What are you inciting?
It's a cold house. It's whatever.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That's not good. No, that's like a 2. Don't.
A 2?
Yeah, it was a natural 3. It wasn't good.
Yeah, you're not getting anything off of him. Aside from just like a vague sense of this guy is in my house asking me questions and I am uncomfortable.
Huh.
Probably Archibald's first thought isn't, it's ghosts.
Oh, no, he thought that. He just knows that Godfrey doesn't care.
Yeah.
Ghosts aren't real.
He doesn't care.
So,
why not check for it?
Yeah. Well, he's like, kind of as a point to this conversation, he doesn't want to, like, derail it by, like, fucking ghosts everywhere.
Bro, there's ghosts in here. Casper's afraid of ghosts.
Like I said, I'm not going to ask you about where your interest came from, because that. But I mean, as far as the whole where these lizards came from, you don't know anything more than you've told us. Like, they just sort of have been here as far as you know.
As far as I know. I just hunt them. I don't make them.
And when you're, like, studying these things, do you, like... I don't know, what's, like, the process of, like, studying it, figuring out how it works? Do you just kind of... Do you have any way of, like, testing it? Seeing, like, what it comes from, what it does? Or is that just, like...
Well, I used to take far more detailed notes. Now I usually don't have the time, but you know, you kill one, you take it apart a little bit, you write your notes, you burn the body. That's just kind of the process. I don't have time to stick around in one place and ask questions for too long.
Huh. And so, if you were to... like, you have a process for, like, developing and like, creating this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a favor, then?
That depends on the favor.
Uh, is he turned around to look at me at this point?
Yeah, he's kind of looking at you. He's still like working in front of him. He's finished cutting up the fish and he's putting it in the pot now.
Archibald, when he turns around, Archibald has one of the kitchen knives in his hands and is just sort of making a
How
gentle
threatening.
cut line across his palm. No, he's making a gentle cut line across his palm. Little sizzly dragon blood oozing out.
Yeah, he's gonna give you a
Like,
weird look at that. What the hell are you doing?
I want you to take some of this,
For what?
and I want you to see how it holds up in comparison to those beasts
I
and the
I
pro.
I don't think it'll. What? I think you seem to be completely different from them, so I don't think I should do that.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. Dragons. Dragon life cycles weird.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, this silence is in canon. He's just sort of paused to, like, stare at the wall.
Godfrey's still staring at your bleeding hand, like, what the hell?
You know the whole thing about the decline of the dragons, like the creeping insanity, whatever.
I've heard of it.
Well, A, it's true. And B, uh, I'm kind of afraid of where these things came from. And this might be an irrational fear. Like, you might think this is bullshit or whatever, but I'm afraid that these things might be dragons. Not dragons, sort of. Because I don't. Most of my relatives just sort of went mad, sort of continued on existing or died, and then coming back and then dying again, getting more and more batshit by the millennia,
Mm-hmm.
coming back slightly different each time. I don't know where these things came from, and frankly, there's no one else to ask this, but I kind of, want to know if that's what happened to the dragons who died here.
I see. Well,
And
I can't give any certain answers, but I'm nearly positive that that's not the case, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I've always got something to worry about, but I take your point.
They don't look anything like you, after all.
Well, do I look like a lizard?
Not
Right
now.
Yeah.
Great response, Godfrey. 10 out of 10.
He a little stupid. It's okay.
He knows
let's-
science. That's it.
Scientific
let's fit.
method. Lizard bitch? Not today.
Archibald sort of wipes his hand of the blood and the cloth and is like, here, let's finish getting the food ready. They're probably...
Can you clean the knife before you use it again?
Yeah, it's fuck.
not using the same knife. I'm cleaning
Okay.
off it. No, yeah. The whole thing.
Damn,
But yeah,
Everyone ingested dragon blood. What will
Yeah.
happen next?
What will happen? Alright, you guys
What?
Oh, no, you go.
Actually,
Oh.
I wipe off my hand and I grab another knife. And I leave lying on the cloth the knife with my blood on it, just off the side of the kitchen somewhere. And I continue to help him get ready and help take the food out.
Okay. He hands you a bunch of bowls and he says, you can take the food out to everyone else. I will clean up. And he goes about doing that. And you can see that he hesitates for a moment before grabbing the knife covered in your hand blood, but he washes it under the sink water all the same before putting it away.
Okay. Look at him passing that little test that I laid out for him. Good for him.
2 tests in a row. Pass with flying colors.
But only the neck blood of the white beasts works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We're not gonna let you. Don't get to F support with Godfrey. Just don't.
Oh no.
Archibald gets harvested.
Hey, I walked up to the dude and said, hey, are you trying to achieve immortality? You can literally have some dragon blood if you want it. Like, it's right here. Go ahead. Like...
And he's thought, man, what a weird guy. That was kind of nasty. Or so
the question is, did this make the relationship worse, better, or different?
You will... I'm just gonna
Yeah.
start
Oh,
adding
wow.
random letters. It just says, like, you. The Among Us symbol.
Archibald feels better about Godfrey. I don't know how Godfrey feels about him.
Guess we'll find out at the end of the
Because he's
session.
like, from Archibald's session, he's like, perspective, he's like, oh, thank God he doesn't know about the whole, like, dark blood pact thing. Oh, good, he's just a weird science man. He's just kind of a freak.
just a freak.
As we always wish our weird science guys to be.
What if there's
Hell
just like
yeah.
a weird guy? I aim to answer that question.
And with that, I will stop fucking monologuing through the session and let other people play. Thank you. Goodbye.
You have
No,
all been
That was
stupid.
so fun.
We all have our moment where we're like, all right, time to hijack the session. Sorry, everyone else.
It's for character development.
It is. And also, I was gonna say, Sam's favorite question to answer is, what if there was a weird guy? Sam is waiting for someone to ask that question to her in real life so she can whip out a wallet full of images.
I'm just imagining Godfrey dressed as Herbert West from Reanimator.
Oh God. Don't tempt me.
I'm tempting you.
I feel tempted. Alright, but yes, you guys have all been besoupined. Amalthea, in the time that Archibald was interrogating, has fallen asleep on the couch. Now in her warm clean clothes. Gare has
I
stood up from where he was hunched over Edwin's limp form on the floor. And he is now just kind of like passively pulling books down from the shelf. Like, he's not really reading them. He doesn't really care, but he doesn't want to just stand in the corner like a coat rack.
Is Alika asleep or in the room?
Alika's bedroom door is open, and if you were to peer inside of it, you would see that she is on her bed, faced away from the door. She appears to be cleaning something. You can't exactly see what it is. Perhaps a weapon or part of her armor.
The last thing I will do is cap up this monologue is after serving the soup, checking to see that she's asleep, standing there for a few seconds sipping.
She's not asleep.
Oh.
I just said she was cleaning. She's cleaning something.
Right, sorry. I checked to see if she was asleep, but even though she wasn't, I'm standing there. And just to everyone else in the room was like, for the record, in case any of you were doubting, yes, the dream was real. Yes, it happened. I have the medallion thing to prove it. None of that was fake. That all happened.
Amalthea wakes up at the sound of your voice, making like a groggy sound, before realizing what you'd said, and then she just looks at you and she says, "Can we see the medallion? Does it work?"
Archibald's hair. Sam, you never said. Does it just turn me red, or does it turn
It
me
can
like
turn you any hair color, any eye color. For 1 hour.
Archibald's eyes and hair are now Fire Emblem Warriors sequel levels of purple. Sure, let's go.
Gare, whose hair is also Fire Emblem Warriors levels of purple, looks vaguely insulted for a moment.
It's not an insult. It's just purple.
He says, "Pick a new color."
I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can redo your hair.
Okay.
It's unlimited uses. It's just that once you apply one color, if you were to just leave it alone, it would disappear in an hour.
Okay. Yeah, he's blonde Archibald then.
Fucked up.
Amalthea like quietly whispers, "That's even worse."
Octavia just like bundled up in the blanket with her clutching the soup, just like squints at Archibald, and she's like, "Ugh, that's not your color either."
Valente is combing his fingers through Amalthea's hair and is like, just drink the soup and try not to think too hard about whatever the fuck he's doing right now.
Amalthea loudly slurps her soup.
The hair turns green, and he goes back to drinking soup.
Soup time.
Yep.
Time.
Godfrey, now finished with cleaning up in the kitchen, comes back in the room. He does not have a bowl of soup. And he stands in the doorway for a second, and then he's like, "Well, I was planning to, I guess, leave for our next destination, wherever that may be, tomorrow, but a lot has happened in the past, I don't know how many hours exactly, but maybe we should stay for a few days and just get better." And then he looks at where Edwin is, I assume, still on the floor.
Yeah.
Does he at least have soup?
He'll sit up if he has soup.
Yeah, you've got soup now.
Archibald walked over and put it down on his chest as he was lying there, just like.
Val is going to be like, I wouldn't have let these three leave anyway. They need rest.
Well, that's fine. You've already set up cots and everything, so you're welcome to do whatever. And then he just kind of waves his hand a little bit and he says, I have some work to do, so I'll be downstairs. Just call if you need anything. And then he turns around and he walks away. Millicent,
Hey,
who is
Godfrey.
kind of hovering behind him, follows.
The
Wait.
second Val hears the door to the basement like close, if it happens, or just
He does
hears
not
his-
close the basement door.
Okay, well then when Val hears the steps like fade, Val mutters to himself, "What the fuck kind of work do you have right now?" And then just sighs and keeps stroking Amalthea's hair.
Oh.
Amalthea finishes her soup, but not before spilling a little bit on Valente's leg.
Val acts like it didn't happen. Doesn't even flinch.
Basudent.
Val's been with a very, very sick 6-year-old. He's used to sick people spilling things on him.
Valid. Also, very sad, but valid. All right. Oh, no, you go.
I was gonna say, can I look around at like pictures hanging on the walls and stuff and some?
There are no pictures hanging on the walls in this room. Any wall that is not occupied by a window is occupied by a bookshelf. Or a door.
All right.
Octavia sees Archibald looking around and she's like, are there any like stories on the bookshelf?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to Sam?
I'm talking to Archibald because Archibald's actually. Octavia's talking to Archibald because Archibald's in front of it and she's not feeling good, so she doesn't want to get up herself.
Oh. Yeah. But Archibald looks up and actually are there stories?
As you look up at the shelves and you start pulling a few books down, you learn a couple things. One, as messy as the house was when you first arrived, the books on the shelf are actually meticulously organized by, I guess, genre and then by alphabetical order. The second thing you learn is that almost 100% of the tomes are either half-used Arclight tomes or medical texts with some of the most graphic images inside that you have ever seen. Medical diagrams, granted, but they're nasty as fuck.
You hear Octavia hears Archibald muttering, "That's an Arclight. Arclight. Yeah, that's not supposed to be bent like that. Arclight. There's a lot of Arclights.
At the bottom of one of the shelves, only noticeable because it's slightly taller than the rest of the books, is a thin, extremely worn book it's not a picture book, but it is apparently fiction. It is a relatively simple tale, one that you would assume to find in like a children's care center or something like that. Forgotten out of the way.
There's about 132 copies of Arclight tomes in varying degrees of quality, horrifyingly miserable medical books, and this one children's book. I say,
Octavia, like, once she's finished with her soup, because she finishes her soup as he's looking, she, like, puts the soup bowl down and, like, reaches out like a T-Rex arm towards the book.
Leans down further to hand it over.
Thank you for checking. And then she starts looking through the picture book.
It is not a picture book. It is a words book. But it is a children's
words book. And it seems like she's actually pretty relaxed as she's reading it. She's like, Oh.
It is a familiar tale, one that is probably so cookie cutter that you've basically heard it before.
Yeah, it's like she's just reading it and she just thinks about like a similar story that her mom told her, and then later on she told her younger brother, so it's comforting. It's like when you feel sick and you just want to rewatch or reread stories that you know you like as a comfort.
When you feel sick and then The Price is Right comes on and suddenly you're in 5th grade.
Yeah.
True.
Universal experience. Excellent. All right, what are the rest of you guys up to? Or are you just letting these next few days go by?
Days?
I'm opening the playing field to everyone now. The next few days are going to be spent I'm gonna say like you've 3 days, including the day you're currently in, where you have basically free reign of the house, provided that you don't touch anything you're not supposed to. So now if there's anything you want to do, if there's anyone you want to talk to, now is the time, because then it will be time to decide where to go next.
Mm-hmm. I want to say, during the 3 days, does Merope stop by?
Make it so,
Merope?
Samantha.
What?
We
What?
need to meet
Do
her.
it.
Come
We
on. We need to
want
meet
this.
the drug bread lady.
You want to meet drug bread lady?
Yes.
Oh god.
You know what?
If you didn't think if she wasn't gonna stop over, she is now. Your players demand it.
Yeah,
Please.
I wasn't gonna have her stop over, but well, I already showed you her art, so
Yeah, you
that would be
fucking
such a
bastard.
waste of a perfectly good character. Uh, sure, I'm gonna say like day 2, maybe I'm gonna say pretty early in the morning, so like maybe 7 a.m. ish. There's a knock on the back door. Um, Millicent is, of course, the door opener of the house officially, so she goes and gets it. And there is an unfamiliar woman standing outside. She leans down to pet Millicent on the head. Millicent barks, clearly happy to see this woman. This is a familiar face to her, and the lady lets herself inside the house. Who's currently in the living room? Who's currently around?
It's early in the morning.
Yeah, it's early in the morning.
I would say unless Valente or the other characters moved her, Octavia's still on the couch. She doesn't want to move. And is closer to the fire.
And you're probably
Val,
the first one she makes eye contact with.
I mean, Val's just been. I'm gonna say Val's gonna spend the 3 days. Basically, like this is. Oh god, this is so fucked up for him because this is like. This is literally basically what happened to his son before his son died, and like the thing that he thinks about the most is what could I have done to have taken better care of him and maybe not had him die because he was only like he was a little kid, and so the entire 3 days Val is now acting extreme. Like Val's already kind of protective, but now you've got a parent.
Oh boy.
I
I will say
everything possible to make you as comfortable and like
Aw.
warm as possible.
Be parented.
I would still say Octavia said, like, please let me stay by the fire, please.
Well,
It's so cold.
yeah, Val's like, well, yeah, you have to stay warm.
Thank you.
What's Edwin up to? Where's Edwin?
I would say Edwin's probably hanging out in there too because I assume that Val wouldn't let him not sleep on like a chair or couch or something. So if he's chilling, he's in there like reading whatever book, probably whatever Octavia was reading, and he just asked for it afterwards.
You're all taking turns passing around the one
Yeah.
palatable book in this
Reading
entire
time.
house.
Reading
Yeah.
time. Yes.
Archibald, where are you?
Good at 7 a.m.
You're allowed to be asleep, by the way. You can be asleep.
And so I rolled a D100 once again. Because I can't make
Archibald's sleepo beepo moment?
Yeah, closer to 100 is awake. Further is asleep. 34. I'm gonna call that. He's like kind of stirring, not quite awake though.
The woman in the doorway, who quietly closes the door behind her, quickly notices that there are in fact people in this room, and noticing that at least one of them, Archibald, is face down on a cot. She like kind of.
I'm not on a cot.
Oh, where are?
I think I was one of the floor boys.
We all have cots.
There were enough cots for everyone, except for
I'm
whoever's
sorry,
on the couch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I mixed up the.
Originally, it was Val, but Val forfeited the couch to
Right.
sick people.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I miscounted, or I misremembered the count in my memory. Yeah, then I'm on a cut. Sure.
She notices quickly that one of you is in fact asleep on a cot. So she sort of like, you know how people tiptoe, but like actually they just tiptoe even though it doesn't make them any quieter. She waves to all of you really like silently. She mouths like a hello before like just walking past you towards where the kitchen is.
I rolled a 15 on perception while asleep.
What are you trying to perceive?
Whether he hears it and wakes up or not.
Oh, yeah, you can wake up. You wake up to the sight of her retreating back down the hall.
Blink. Look around. Who is that?
I think that's
Fuck if I know.
Okay. Should she be
Millicent
here?
opened the door for her, so I think
Millicent
it's cool.
Millicent seemed pretty happy to see her, so I figure she knows who that is.
Oh yeah, if Millicent likes her, she's fine, probably. Oh boy.
Millicent appears in the hall door once again, as if acutely aware that you've been talking about her. She yaps quietly before turning around to go attend to whatever the woman is doing. You hear like a thudding sound as if someone is opening a basement door, perhaps. Shuffling on the staircase. You don't hear anyone talking, and then the footsteps return and the door closes. The woman appears in the hallway, still doing that not really very effective tiptoe, before passing again through the room, and then out into the other hall towards where Alika's room is.
Huh.
I would say, Sam,
Hey, what's up?
is there like an estimate on how long the cold lasts, or can we choose like, okay, depending on your immune system, it's okay, or
Yeah, I will say, Octavia, how long does it usually take you to get over colds?
I would say if it's a really bad one, she's usually bedridden for a day or two. But and also she was exhausted, so I'm thinking probably she'll feel better by this evening.
Okay, so you're like the tail end of it. You've still maybe got a runny nose. You
Yeah,
cough, you
like,
take too
but
deep a breath, but you're fine.
yeah, it's not like her whole body aches like it
How's
does
Edwin
right now.
doing?
Probably the same. I don't think he has any reason to like fight off a cold faster than Octavia could.
He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Amalthea is also starting to get over it, perhaps a tiny bit slower than everyone else. She's still kind of got like an actively runny nose, and she's still being a little bit on the boneless side, but maybe she's just being dramatic about it. You can't quite be sure. Teenagers. But she should be fine soon. You all show imminent signs of recovery.
Yeah.
That's good. Hopefully Val isn't as nervous.
Yeah. Octavia looks at Amalthea and is like, back on your boats, what would happen when a kid got sick? What would you do?
They'd go on the sick boat. It's
What's a
just a
sick
canoe
boat?
with a blanket in it.
Oh. What happens if you have more than one sick kid at a time?
Multiple people can fit in a canoe together.
That's true.
You piled all the sick people in one boat with a blanket and just sort of cast them out.
I mean, they all live. Usually.
Archibald chooses. It just sort of rolls back over, like hands behind his head, staring up at the ceiling, relaxing, and chooses to himself not to explain the mechanics of historical plagues to Amalthea and what that sounds like.
Plague-ridden little children.
just like.
Well, just think about it. You know how when you're first entering kindergarten, you usually get a lot of colds.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like it. you build up immunity because
Yeah.
you're around kids
She's
all
gonna
the
have the immune
time.
system of a beast when she grows up because how much time she spends in the plague canoe.
Yeah, it's like just lying back. Archibald's like, yeah, I don't feel it. It's been a hell of a few days. I don't feel like the child needs to know about leprosy.
Oh god.
Oof, ow, her bones. Gary's still sleeping in the other room, by the way. He is not among you. He is, if you were to go in there, he would be under his blanket, just unseeable, a lump in the corner, enjoying his rest. He's probably used to a much more, I'll say relaxed lifestyle than what you've put him through in the last couple of months. So these few days of just getting to sit around and sleep are like, yes, finally. I'm home.
I
wanna
get
go
to be
to
the bear
bed.
I've always been.
I want to go to bed. But yeah, he's gonna be asleep as long as you legally let him. But yeah, the woman creeps off towards Alika's room. You hear the creak of a door open. Some voices in the beyond, two women's voices. You can assume who they belong to. And soon enough, Alika and her reappear. Alika just kind of like vaguely smiles at all of you, like, there's people in my house. I think they were
Hi,
here
ma'am.
when I went to sleep, but I'm not quite sure, but it's fine. And she shuffles off towards the bathroom where the woman follows her, opening the door and then shutting it before just kind of like standing in the hallway a little bit, poking her head in like that way that a curious mom would do. And now that she's not moving around so much, she's kind of standing by one of the bookshelves. You can see that she is wait, is this the file with her art? Hold on. Do I have her art? I do.
Sam just shows the final boss by accident.
God, that
Final
would
boss
be
is
a
Merope.
doozy. Hey, don't test me. Maybe, who knows? But she seems to be a woman, maybe in her either late 30s or early 40s. She's still got like her face is red from the cold of outside. She's wearing her thick woolen dress and apron. Um, she looks like a villager, like a working woman, a local person. You don't spot anything immediately like, wow, what a weird thing. What's that holy blood symbol on your face? No, you don't see it. She just looks like a normal lady. And she's now noticing that Archibald's awake. She just kind of goes, "Hi, I heard Gottfried had guests."
Hi, ma'am. Sorry. Not used to the weather.
Oh, yeah, it can be pretty rough, even in the summer. Just be glad you're visiting in the warm months. It gets nightmarish in the winter.
Oh boy.
It's at least.
Oh.
What brings you guys all the
Hi,
way out
I'm
here?
Octavia.
This is a pretty weird place to visit.
We're traveling with Gottfried. He said that we could stop here and rest for a few days.
Oh, yeah, he travels a lot. You're, I assume, mercenaries or some other form of hire?
Or some other, yeah.
No, I'm a
Some other,
mercenary.
huh? Oh, a menagerie. I see.
Octavia is like still too weak to be like, but she does have this like look like, okay, that's a word.
The lady is gonna like look behind her towards the bathroom door, but sensing no difficulties from the world beyond, she turns her attention back to you guys, and she just kind of leans against one of the bookshelves. She wipes her hands on her apron. She's still wearing her like thick gloves, but you can see they've got like snow on them. And she's gonna say, "Well, it's pretty weird for anyone in this area to have guests, so welcome, I suppose. I assume Godfrey didn't welcome you because he's him. So allow me to."
At that, like Octavia does laugh, but then she hacks a little bit like
Are you okay?
I'm okay. It's just a cold. I'm
Ah.
just getting over it.
Make
Alright.
sure you drink lots of water.
Then she thinks about it, and then with that recommendation, as like sometimes when you're still like in a Grizz base, she's like, oh, I should probably go get some water.
Val just stands up and does it for her.
Thank you.
Merope is happy to let you pass. She hasn't introduced herself yet, has she?
Nope.
She is going to, as Val passes by, she's gonna just like hold out her hands a little bit and she's gonna say, well, I'm Merope. I live maybe about an hour away from here. I stop by every few days or so just to check up on the place. So if you need any help and you're ever in the area, just come knock on my door. I live just west of here.
You lived here
Yeah.
your whole life?
Oh yeah, ever since I was a little girl. Me, my parents, my grandparents, we have a farmhouse. Not that we grow much.
Well, how many people live around here? Like, is it just you? Is just that Godfrey, his mom, and your family, or?
Well, family's a strong word. It's just me and the dogs now, but there's a couple other houses. They're a bit of a hike, but you know, people like their solitude. There's plenty of land out here. If you have animals, this is the place to be. Just buy a winter coat first.
Octavia, like, wordlessly points to the coat hanging on the rack. Got it.
Smart.
Thank you.
Val walks back in, handing Malthea her water, and is like,
I think it
they
was
got
Octavia that needed the water.
It was Octavia.
Hand someone else water. Power
And then
move.
Alexa gives it to them, and then there's just this look of betrayal. Like,
I thought I said Octavia.
no.
That would have been a
But
power
But we can
move.
roleplay it that way.
Yeah.
No, what name did I say? I'm
You
so
said
confused.
Amalthea.
The ES have it.
Archibald,
I was intending to say Octavia. I don't know.
Archibald's like, don't worry, I'll get it, and gets up and walks past Merope into the kitchen to get water. I assume he has a sink or something.
Yeah, just a
No,
sec.
listen, that was my like brain to mouth filter doing a backflip. I gave it to him. I gave it to Amalthea. I don't know. In my head, I was literally thinking, and then I gave it to Octavia, and I don't know how Amalthea came out of my mouth. It's so funny.
She psychically
okay.
appeared in front of you, said "mine," and then disappeared.
It's okay. Like, it's okay. We can play it. It's fine.
Yeah, Amalthea has that power over all of us.
You
The child.
You took one look at her baby face. You were like, "Give baby water. Baby needs snack."
And then Val sits back next to Octavia and is like, honestly, I don't think Godfried ever expected us to end up at his house. Pretty sure he thought we would die in like a week.
Yeah, he usually says that, but you'd be surprised. Personally, I'm glad that there's people here. There's never anyone here. It's a bit of a ghost town.
Yeah. That's Archibald. Archibald does a single other room.
Octavia just like, Archibald, my water.
Yeah, I got it. I'm working on it.
Yep, thank you.
It's like it's like is it like a hand pump sink? He's just like,
Sure, if you want it to be. I don't know what that means.
like it's an old it's like a fantasy mini. It's not just like a faucet you turn on and off. It's not.
Oh yeah, no, it's like
pressurized.
one of
He's
the ones with the lever. Yeah.
Yeah. He's he's like
You gotta earn it.
like no one can see it, but he quietly just sort of like opens up one of the cabinets and just like little bit of fire out of his mouth onto like a little match and just like heats up the pipe because it's like frozen in there in the cold. It's like, come on.
Excellent.
Just imagine how bad it gets in the winter.
God.
You can boil snow. It's fine.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I assume you're coming back to the room after.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Merope lets you pass, and as she does, she just says, "Well, so how long you guys? Whoa, how long you guys planning on staying?"
Good.
A few days. Wait. We got Godfrey brought the wagon from a place. Was that your place?
Oh, yes. I found it in my basement. I never use it. I rarely travel outside of town. So I figured if you guys have a little traveling party and then she sort of waves her hand in your general direction going on now, you might get more use out of it than me.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And thank you, Archibald, for getting me water.
But no problem.
No,
Val
you go.
looks really embarrassed because it seems like it just occurred to him what actually happened, which is that he could get water
He's
from
been
Octavia
worried.
Poor Val.
and then give it to Amalthea, and then like you realize that like, oh, he also looks fucking exhausted because
Oh. Go to
And
sleep,
then
see?
Octavia just like gently pats his shoulders, like, it's okay. You should sleep after this.
Mm,
I'm feeling better. I promise. I'm feeling better.
I
And
know.
then she sneezes like
Disgusting noise, thank you.
Octavia's
Most of-
disgusting when she's sick.
your fever. Has her fever broken? Because she's gonna feel better by
Yeah,
this
no,
evening.
you're gonna be fine by this evening. Your fever has
So
broken.
I was gonna say your fever broke. So I know you're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are talking and distributing water, Alika's gonna poke her head out of the bathroom door, and then Merope's gonna turn around. She's gonna say, "You ready for me?" And then just kind of walk into the bathroom, and close it behind her. Alika is still in there. You can hear them like talking very quietly through the bathroom door.
Huh. You know, I I kind of thought I might have been living in the woods alone and made Godfrey all, you know. Eh. But no, she's normal. What happened to him?
Who's to say?
Godfrey still hasn't made an
Yeah.
appearance, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she's also gonna be like, he is who he is.
She
To be
went down
fair,
the face.
he didn't grow up here. He grew up in Luan.
Ah, yeah.
The big city makes people weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is evidence that's not true either.
Lafair's a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe in the opposite direction, but
It's opposite. They're both weird, but in different ways.
Say his brand of weird is just so much all the time.
all right. So you guys just chilling out for now? Just
I mean, Val is chilling out in the vaguest sense of the word, but yes.
okay. It takes maybe like 30-45 minutes for Merope to reappear from the bathroom. And when she does, she is leading Miss Alika with her. And you notice that Alika is now like she got to the bathroom all by herself. Like she was going, she looked fine. She's not that old. She's maybe in her 60s. So, you know, she doesn't have any trouble walking or anything. But now she's like leaning heavily on Merope's arm and she's not really talking very much and she's just kind of like being led back to her room. She maybe like passes eye contact vaguely over all of you, but she doesn't say anything.
No, you know what? I'll wait on that. I'll wait on the suspicion. Continue.
No, that was it. Merope's just taking Alika back to her room.
I would
Right, I'll wait for her
say,
to leave.
I would say, like, as it, just because even though Octavia, her fever is broken, she's still not feeling that great. But I will say, like, she's thinking about it after what Godfrey explained at the Festival of Fools, and it's not really for any ulterior motives. It's just kind of like, have I seen this condition before?
Are you making like a medicine check?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like it's in the wisdom, it's in the dump stack, folks. So we'll see what goes.
That really dumps my stat. Let's go.
No, let's not say that.
That's a -1.
Uh-oh.
-1?
Uh-oh.
You don't know what the fuck's going on. You're like, you look at her, and then for a moment you're like, man, it must suck being old. And then you just continue on.
That's so rude.
But like in nicer thoughts. Like, man, I don't want to get old.
I don't want to die, but I don't want to get old either. Bleh. And then she sips her water because she's like, ugh, mortality.
Me? Cheppy, did you speak up to say something?
Archibald considers, and then he's like, I'll wait until she comes back out. Merope, not the mother.
It does not take Merope very long to come back out. You hear the sounds of, furniture moving around as if someone's climbing into bed. So you can assume Merope's helping Aleka get settled in her bed. And then she comes back out. She's got, sort of just the same, like, soft expression on her face. Like she's just chilling.
Is she okay? I mean, no, well,
Oh,
Or-
yeah, she gets really tired after she takes her medication and stuff. You know how it is getting old. Or, I guess not yet, huh? Lucky kids.
medication.
When you get older,
how old is this woman?
What?
How old is this woman?
Which woman?
Merope?
She's probably in her 40s. Her, like, early 40s. So she's, like... She's not, like... ancient, but she's not, like, a spring chicken. Or she's, like, middle-aged.
Oh.
She's making a middle-aged mom joke. Like,
Val
don't get old,
looks at
kids!
Val gives Merope a look like, what the fuck do you mean, kid?
She's not looking at Val when she says that. She's looking at Archibald.
And Archibald is looking back at her like, she doesn't know. That's cute.
She doesn't need to know.
No. Like, huh.
Archibald's kind of like a young squishy lad.
Sure.
You wouldn't know.
So are you like a medicine woman or something? Like,
No, not professionally trained or anything. But I just come by, I visit, like I said. I like to take care of things, you know. You gotta be close to your neighbors, and we do things for one another.
yeah.
It's nice to have a friend, even if the friend is significantly older than you. It feels good to help people.
Where do you get, I don't know, medications from around here? I vaguely gesture with one hand in the direction of the disease crew.
She looks at the disease crew and she says, well, for most medications, just normal stuff, I suppose. You could go to the general store. Anything more advanced than that, you'll probably want to find a healer, but there's a healer downstairs, so maybe ask him?
That's true.
Octavia just like heaves a raspy laugh at that. Yep. He can heal. He'll
fix you, all right.
Archibald is going to go for the paranoid insight check.
On
or
who?
Merope. Was that medication weird? She's talking like, oh, did she give her something weird?
Yeah, you can check.
10.
10? Whatever she did, it doesn't seem like it was just general store antibiotics or anything like that. She definitely seems like she's avoiding telling you what either she gave the woman or what she did to the woman. But she doesn't seem malicious. She's not like haha, I've poisoned this old woman. Like,
I
no,
see.
she's
Sandwich
like,
house since my proxy.
yeah, no, she's like, this is clearly something she does either like fairly often, possibly every day, normally. But you know, she's taking care of a old person who is not well. She doesn't want to divulge everything. That's
At
not
the
her business.
at the whole Godfried is the healer bit, and Octavia's laughter, his eyes dart over to Alika's room and just look back at Merope with it just stares in the eyes and say, "Ah, sort of look. I see."
Like I said, don't get old.
Yeah, yeah. Can wait.
But anyways, is there anything I can do for you people before I head on home? I think Godfrey's still asleep, but I can probably be more help with certain things than he is. So if you need anything, just come knock on my door and let me know.
Thank you. What was in the bread?
The bread? Oh, you had some of the bread. Did you like it?
It was very nutty.
Well, it did have nuts in it, so that would be the reason. Oh no, are you allergic?
No, I'm not allergic. It's fine. It was good. It was good.
I'm glad. I'm usually a pretty good baker, so I'm glad you liked.
Mm-hmm. And Octavia just does not have the heart to tell this woman.
Yo,
was
your
there
bread
drugs in
sent
this?
us to EBDB.
She just doesn't have the heart to say it.
Val looks like he was expecting someone else to say it, and so when no one else says it,
Oh no.
Val.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Val has autism. He doesn't.
No, Val, do
Yeah,
it.
he
Go.
Do it.
No,
do it.
Do
Uh,
it.
Do it.
Val goes, well, we did all have a shared dream where we were in weird outfits and there was a jester.
She gives you like a funny look for a second before throwing her head back and laughing a little bit and saying, "No, that's just this house. Don't even worry about it."
Wait.
Fucking look and
Archibald,
goes, you regularly have shared
Ar-
dreams here?
Archibald is on his feet immediately, just like he was like he did not care at all. Like he was not paranoid about this woman. He's like right up in her face for the first time, like he is to everyone else in the fucking campaign. Like, what do you mean this house?
What do you mean? What do you mean this house?
Is this house haunted?
Ghosts aren't real.
Then why the fuck does this house apparently give you shared dreams?
I was just kidding a little bit. I've had a few strange dreams while sleeping here. I'm kidding. I'm making a joke.
Nah.
Uh.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Ooh, that's a 15.
15? Okay, can you specifically give me the question you're asking? I'm very stupid.
Okay. Basically, she's waving it off as a haha. No, does it sound like she has like weird, possibly slightly too real seeming dreams whenever she's at Godfrey's house?
Just looking in her eyes and the basic vibe around her, it does seem that yes, she does seem slightly threatened by the concept of a strange dream, and is waving it off purposefully and with intent.
Archibald just looks her in the eyes and just slowly nods up and down once and twice in a way that says, yeah, just a dream. Just a dream. And he just sort of, and then turns and abruptly walks back over and flops back out of the cot. Face up.
Val gives Archibald a look of like, dude, really?
Bro, we threatening women now? That's not poggers.
That's not what the posse is about, man.
That's not what
Was
the
that
insane found posse is about.
That wasn't threatening. If anything, that was like
You
begging.
got up in the stranger's face and asked her about her dreams.
And Octavius is like, don't. She sneezes again and tries to cover her mouth. It's like, she's trying to still be like her usual, like, very relatively smooth talking self, and it's like, it's being very diminished by being sick. Uh, it's we've just had other weird dreams over the course of our travels a little bit, so we got a little antsy.
Val is going to rest a head on a hand on Octavia's head and goes, also, Archibald, kind of a weird dude.
Yeah.
I have my
Yeah.
fears.
No, I know you can hear me.
I have my fears.
Oh, I thought he said, "Oh, I have ears," and I was like, "Yeah, Val knows you're in the room." Val's not trying to be like, he's kind of weird. Val's trying to be like, "Yeah,
He's
this is
kind of
our
a little
hashtag."
freak.
Val's being like, "Yeah, this is our hashtag weird girl. Don't worry about it."
Every single one of you is the hashtag weird girl.
Yeah, at least
Every single person on the screen.
is a weird.
Except maybe Merope.
Yeah.
Edwin might be normal. Well,
Edwin's pretty normal.
Edwin's a little weird.
He's normal right now.
He has a hyperfixation on
Edwin's gonna
Jugdral.
get weird.
No, he's already a bit weird at points.
Get two beers in him, and then he'll get weird.
Characters, they start boring and then they get weird. So don't worry.
If anything, he's almost like too normal. Like everyone else's normalcy operates like, when things are chill, people are normal, except for like Archibald and Gare and Godfrey. But then like Edwin's staring down like a bleeding, faithless little girl on a shoreline and is like, well, isn't that just interesting, huh? Funny, you don't see that every day.
Oh golly,
He was made
gee.
for this job.
Yeah, Edwin might be a little weird.
Edwin's hashtag normal until his special interest comes up, and then he's like, "Wow, I'm gonna be so hashtag normal about this," and by that, it's weird.
Yeah. We love that about him. But let me see, where were we? Yes, Archibald had just gotten up in the face of this woman. She seems uncomfortable by the fact she knows she was just analyzed for information by you. She's no spring chicken. She knows when people are like poking for info without asking. So she's now like kind of making a weird expression toward Archibald, like, huh? Like who do you think you are? Before oh no,
he looks up at her and is like, sorry, well, we travel with Godfrey, perhaps you can imagine. It's been a hell of a, and he pauses and just sort of thinks. It's been a hell of a time.
yeah,
few months.
he's certainly got some habits and interests, for sure. So I'm glad you're all doing well.
No, yes, I apologize.
That's okay. I've had strange dreams that put me on edge too. So I'm sure we all have. It's just nature of being a person. Sometimes you see things at night you don't want to see.
Yeah.
But
Octavia looks at Edwin and thinks about the dreams that he's had.
Hang on, I'm rolling to see whether Archibald cares to ask the details or not. No, he does not.
nice.
He's too tired.
Classic. But she's gonna like check the bathroom one more time. It looks like maybe put out the candle that's in there. Dust her hands off on her skirt. She's got a small bag with her. She readjusts that on her belt, and she's gonna say, well, it's still pretty early in the morning, and I have to go walk a bunch of dogs, so I'm glad I've met all of you. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer, but like I said, if you're ever in the area, you need someone to talk to, you need a couch to crash on, my house is open to all of you. Just don't bring any of those weird dreams of yours. And then she winks a little bit.
Octavia tries to wink back, and then her eyes water. Like,
Just sort of an eye twitch, like
His eye twitches back at her. Ah, how normal.
She's trying to be cool, and she's not cool right now.
Safe travel.
So sad.
Well, have a good day, everyone. And then she sweeps her way out of the house, and Millicent closes the door behind her.
I wait 60 seconds after Millicent latches the door, just sitting there in silence. And then to the room around me, I still lying face up, stare at the ceiling, and go, "Oh gods, do we think Godfrey's haunted?"
Godfried himself?
He could be. I don't know how haunting works.
When did the dream start?
I think the first one I have was after we met Godfrey.
The first one Edwin had, as far as I can recall, like me as a player, was when he took the
Yeah, the juice.
Yeah, he took the
No,
juice.
It was before the juice, though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
before the juice. Yeah,
Hmm.
he took the juice the next morning. He went to bed without taking the juice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, then I'm remembering wrong.
You good?
That's like the first weird dream I had was about Godfrey's school teacher, therefore Lothair's grandfather. So
I am actively flipping through back to my notes from. I found the point where we met Godfried, which, by the way, I must have been busy at that point because it's literally the note for Godfried's introduction is, and I quote, "Godfried."
Succinct. I like it.
How else can you describe him?
He
But
is
Godfrey.
who he is.
Yeah. Camp Gargoyle, we met Gareth. God. Gareth. There's a lot of. Jesus Christ, what percentage of my notes is Archibald thinks this person might be a dragon?
A lot.
It's about every page there is one. Are they like a dragon or haunted?
Silly Cheppy, ghosts aren't real.
Nope, that's not a dream. That's just someone. That's just Archibald wading through viscera.
What are you looking for?
I'm
he's
looking to.
trying to see if a dream did happen before we met.
Wait a minute. Alone, camp with a bowl of stew. There's a crying. The child on the beach was the first dream, right?
It wasn't on the beach. It was in the camp.
Yeah, it was in
Sorry,
the camp.
right? Yeah, I mix up. But it was in the camp. The girl with the blood in the mouth and no teeth or whatever.
Yep.
Fuck me! It was 2 sessions after we met Godfried.
Yeah.
So the first
Sure
night
was.
we slept. Huh.
Huh.
I don't know, maybe it's just like something to do with the magic he uses for making his medicine, because it is like experimental.
So maybe it's so it's
Falcon
either
Edwin this look of like once again that look of you have so much hope and it is so misplaced.
When we wait, sort of sitting up, putting his arms out like the Charlie Day thing, but it's like half-hearted because he's still tired.
Okay.
Trying to give a fuck. Just sort of at Lothair's house. Oh, he took inventory of who was having weird nightmares. Forgot to mention the only 2 people who said that they didn't have weird dreams, I think, were me, and I had extenuating lizard. circumstances. And Godfrey.
Do you think Godfrey was telling the truth?
Well, I actually have no idea. It just makes it weird, though. It makes his because when it was just me and Godfrey not having dreams, it's like, okay, well, statistically, whatever, it just happened like that. But oh shit, is this guy haunted?
Did we even ask him? I don't remember if he was in the room.
No, he said Oh, I'm sorry. You wouldn't. After we had our whole group conversation, I was up in the room with him, and I asked him if he had any weird dreams, and I remember I think I made a joke when he responded about us being like the only two, which now in retrospect that does. Wow, why did that set off more alarm bells? I'm a dragon. He's the only other one. That's weird. Moving on.
Think your alarm bell is so constantly set off, you weren't thinking too hard about it.
I get rid of Merope now.
Goodbye.
She's gone.
Well, shit. Now what?
Well,
Fuck if I know.
He's not gonna say anything.
I don't think it's that weird. Maybe it's just he just hasn't had a weird dream yet.
Do you think he'll share with us when he does?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, I. Is Garrett up yet? He's
no,
probably
Gary's
not.
fucking asleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Good for him.
Good for him. Octavia's like, no, I won't wake him up. Is Amalthea is up? 'cause she's
Amalthea's up.
drinking water. Yeah.
She's sipping.
It's she's like, well, we all know now, so I guess, like our scientist friend, we have a hypothesis.
Val gives Octavia that look that you give your sibling when they say something very like they make a bad joke
Say
and
some
you're like,
dumb shit.
no, not dumb
Yeah.
shit. Like they make a bad joke and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw you out a window.
And Octavia just like has like small glint in her eyes, like you can't. I'm sick. That's the only thing stopping person. Dumb shit.
Oh my god.
Val pokes her in the middle of the forehead,
Ow.
like with a no, not even like with the flat of his finger, so it's more like pressing on his forehead, and then goes, "Why?"
I don't know. My inhibitions have been lowered, as well as my capacity to speak without coughing.
You're forgiven for now.
While they're doing this, I'm gonna get up and go get Archibald is gonna get up and go get another cup of water for himself.
Yeah.
Anyone else need another water?
Edwin raises his hand.
That's one.
I'm good.
No one else. Okay. And he walks in.
As you oh no, you go.
No.
All
You
right.
go.
As you shuffle on into the kitchen, the basement door opens to reveal a thoroughly frazzled Godfried, as in he just woke up very clearly and he is not awake. He doesn't fully step out of the basement. He just kind of puts his hands on the floor as he stands on one of the steps. And he looks out at you and he says, "Was Merope here?"
Yeah. She went down the basement. I thought that she, I don't know, saw you or so. She said you were asleep, I guess, but I kind of figured she'd, I don't know, at least poked her head in or something.
He makes like a completely unintelligible noise that was probably a word in his head, but is not a word when it is given into the room. before just like opening the other basement door. So it's like a double door. So he opens one and then he opens the other. And then he just goes back downstairs.
Aww. Was he sad he didn't see
No, he
Rosie?
doesn't seem sad. He's just like not awake.
It's like he can sense a disturbance. It's like there was a person in my basement. Oh well.
Some things have been moved from the floor to where they belong. I wouldn't have done that.
As he goes back down, just shouting down the stairs. You want a glass of water?
He says no. Not no thank you, he says no.
Okay.
You can barely, because you can see, like, partially into the basement, but not very far, because the steps are very steep, and there's, like, a wall on one side. And you can see that he's, like, shuffling around by one of his desks at this point. You can, like, see the bottoms of his legs.
Alright. I'm gonna go over to the sink and start filling glasses of water. No, I will. But before I do, I walk over to do that, and I pause and walk over to the counter where I was standing, cutting vegetables the day before,
Mm-hmm.
or days before.
No, it's been,
And
like,
I'm just,
it's been less than 24
yeah.
hours. That was last night.
I just sort of put my hands in roughly the position, and like my whole body in roughly the position it was when I was talking to him. Just sort of like stand there thinking for a second.
Okay.
Anything?
Oh, you're asking if there's sensations? You don't feel anything. You don't see anything automatically. You don't. It's just kind of
No.
air. It's cold in here because it's summer in Solis, but
Sure.
you don't feel
No.
any strange sensations that are out of the ordinary.
I will go get a glass of water for me and a glass of water for Edwin.
All right. So, anything else you guys would like to do at this location before it's time to discuss where to go next?
I'll say by the final day. Actually, if Octavia feels better by evening, she's probably gonna go wake up Gare's like, hey, want to train?
Gare, who has quite literally been asleep this entire time, like
Yep.
a full, like, not 24 hours, but he's like flirting with it a little bit. He gets up, he looks at you groggily, and he says, I'd rather die, and then flops back onto the cot.
Fair.
This is his first day off in literal months. You cannot take this from him.
I won't try. She just asks, like, okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna make you. So part of her is like looks at is this Vaihanda back on the painting up?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that at some point, maybe the second half of the second day, Alika shuffled back in. She was like, "This was in my room. I'm not quite sure why." She puts it back up, and then she makes small talk with all of you. She calls you all a bunch of names that are wrong. And then Facebook, hello, get out of here. And then she calls you Facebook. And then she, goes on her way. She eats dinner with you the second night. She's very excited to learn about what Edwin's learning about in school. That kind of thing. She wants to know how Archibald is doing at the arena because she hasn't been there in a while.
Oh, it's the arena.
She nods sagely at that, like, sure fuck it is.
I think at a certain point, Octavia's like, is Godfrey eating with them?
Yeah, Godfried's, like, around somewhere.
Okay,
He's
so
found a
he'll
chair.
He'll hear then if it's not okay. Octavia's like, actually, since we're here, I wanted to ask if I could watch you do a few moves with your sword.
She, like, raises an eyebrow at that, like, ho ho, You wish to learn from the master. But Godfrey immediately from across the room just says no.
Oh.
She is not supposed to be moving around that much.
Okay, sorry. She says it to Alika, but is also kind of looking at Godfrey, like, apologetically, but also kind of like, huh. She's thinking again about the night, like, when they were going, and she's like, she was set. She was ready to go, and
Raring to go.
yeah, ready to go, and part of her is just like, so what's going on? How does it change? How does this happen? I know she's ill, but it's this weird kind of thing where Octavia is trying to pierce together certain things.
Mm-hmm. You're not saying any of this out loud, I assume.
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah. Then
that would be rude.
Alika at Godfrey's just like definitive and unquestionable no is just gonna kind of like, she doesn't seem like, oh, rats, I wanted to do that. She just kind of like vibes. She's just like, oh, okay, sounds good. Like she just forgets the conversation.
Oh.
She goes back to Eton. She again asks Edwin how his studies are going.
He probably actually tells her.
How convenient. She does it as you're describing, you know, your mage practices and your
Yeah.
love of the continent of Jugdral. She like seems to get some of it. Like when you talk about Jugdral, she's like, "Oh man, I know that place. I live there. These are all the places that I know. Nothing you haven't heard before, no new information." But she's like, she has a conversation with you. She calls you Marco a couple times, but that's beside the point.
Does Godfrey react to Marco?
Godfrey does not react to any of this. He just continues eating. She also asks him how he's doing in school, and he just replies with fine. No other details.
Edwin just lets her call him Marco. He's not after like the second time. He's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I would say again because they're closer, and Octavia is now relatively better. It's not gonna do anything. I'll just try to make a medicine check again.
On
Even though it's
Alika?
yeah, on Alika.
Okay, go for it.
It's a 5 now.
A 5? You can't really identify. It's obvious that she has some sort of a memory issue, but other than that, you can't really identify anything. But you do like detect a certain like strange smell that you're not entirely sure how to place. Kind of a medical smell, perhaps the medicine.
Does it smell like anything I've smelled before?
It does seem vaguely familiar.
Huh.
Oh god, is it like one of those fucking salves or whatever it was that just like fucked up Val?
I don't know. Are you sniffing?
I would say like afterwards, after dinner, because there's still salve in Val's pack, right?
Ask Val.
Yeah, there is, but I don't think Val's told anyone about it.
Then I guess afterward, it'd probably be after dinner, and Octavia's kind of like, she turns to Archibald. She's like, "Hey, have you smelled something on Miss Alika?"
Got that old lady smell.
Mothball!
Mothballs.
Attention, but should I roll medicine or something?
Yeah, go ahead and roll medicine.
Oh boy. Yeah. Dice probably gonna fail me now. They did. 7.
I'm gonna say
Better than me.
You get the same sort of slight whiff that Octavia does, but perhaps slightly more. You can place it slightly better. If you were to smell, I'll say this: if you were to smell it a second time, you'd be able to identify it. But in your brain right now, you just know that you have smelled this before, but you can't place it.
Oh, that's so familiar. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't I can't recall what it is, but it's definitely. Is that
You
like
think?
a recent thing?
I don't know. I wasn't close enough, I think, before to maybe notice it. Or well, my sense of smell has just returned, so I don't know.
Wait,
Wait, what?
Sam,
Hey,
is
what's
there
up?
any comparison to the smell of the blood that I have been drenched in several times now?
I'm gonna make
Of
you make a
lizards.
second medicine check to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing you
Okay.
two just like standing next to Alga, sniffing.
No, we're not standing. This is
No,
after dinner. This is
yeah,
after dinner. We are not
yeah.
doing. We are not saying this in her presence.
Sniffing.
Fuck me.
Just
That's
sniffing.
a 2-1.
You. I'll just give it to you because there's a correct answer. You don't smell blood on her, like dragon blood or beast blood. You don't smell like the smell of blood. She smells like a person. And
Okay,
whatever that
but
weird smell is.
I'm gonna interpret the non-natural one as he still says. It's like, is that the smell of blood?
No.
No, actually, what am I saying? That's not it at all. Why did I say that?
Smell of blood is highly identifiable.
You just
Beast
have blood
blood
on
just
the
kind of
brain.
smells like blood.
Yeah, the man like hunts, harvests blood for a living. It's whatever. Yeah, no, but I do. You are right. It is something that we.
You think? Maybe. You think they keep it in the bathroom?
I look forward and then slow side eye look at Octavius. Do you want to find out?
Octavia first looks if Godfried or Alika are in the vicinity.
At this point,
This is
Godfried has started to help Alika back to her room. Not really like leading her, but just kind of like ushering her, like go that way, please.
he's gonna go back
So
to the
he is
base.
distracted.
I lean over. He's gonna go back to the basement eventually tonight.
Check then.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does indeed return to the basement not long after you guys eat. He says to work, but he's probably not going to be back out again, so he just says good night and then closes the door behind him. Millicent spends a while just kind of laying on the double doors, whining as if she wants to be let in. Nobody answers.
Aw, poor puppy.
But after realizing she's not going to get what she wants by pretending to be a dog like 18 times smaller than she actually is, she instead wanders over to where Gar's cot is, sniffs him, and then tries to get in bed with Amalthea, who welcomes him. But welcomes her, but she is far too big for the bed. So, floor time.
Aw. Puppy.
Millicent is soft, so it's fine. But yes, Godfrey disappears into the basement. Alika is in her room. You can presume she's asleep. If she's not, she's doing her own thing.
I guess it's time to check.
Yeah. Sidle-on up to the bed. We sidle-on
Yeah.
up to the bathroom.
We
I
Time to
guess.
go take a shit with them.
No one. Why do I keep going to the bathroom with party members?
Love going pee
Archibald,
with the
like,
best.
Yo, we're gonna do a group bonding activity. It's time to pee with my group.
Archibald is the drunk girl in a bathroom at the club. That's just his energy.
Just picturing Archibald sitting on the floor holding beer, like, don't text him back. Anyways, yeah, the bathroom's there.
Let's go
Yeah.
check the bathroom.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe the bathroom's like one of the only rooms in this whole house you haven't actually like explored.
God, is the room with the secrets
A
just
secret
fucking-
bathroom.
A secret bathroom.
No, I'm assuming like. Well, actually, if Octavia's been sick, she's probably just been like.
You guys have been in the bathroom before because obviously
we've been the
you've
bathroom,
been here like
obviously,
at
just
least a day and a half. I assume
Yeah.
someone's had needed it yet. Someone's
Yeah.
needed it so far. But like you
was
know, you just
something-
go in the bathroom, you use it, and you leave. You don't really spend a lot of time looking around.
Yeah.
But you guys enter the bathroom. It contains the bath, the toilet, and the sink you are familiar with. But now that you guys are, snooping around, looking around,
Should I
um, what?
should I like close the door?
Yeah, that's not gonna look weird for everyone else. Go for it.
Is anyone looking when I peer out the door? Is anyone looking at us, or is it just like?
No, I mean, there's no NPCs in the room. I don't know if Edwin
There's
and
nobody in the
Valente.
bathroom, guys. We're trying to get
Edwin-
high.
Edwin was probably like, "That's kind of weird," and then they like look out their room to see if anyone's looking, and he's like, "I'm minding my business."
Val's still like in a state of mind, so Val isn't thinking too hard about what's going on, and also because because Val's been alone for so long, and we've mostly not been spending like a ton of time in buildings and stuff. Val's like staring and is like, I think they're like Val like what saw this happen and was like, there's something weird about this, but I don't know exactly what, and I don't care enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
get-
gonna pretend it didn't happen.
I guess after peering out, Archibald grabs the door handle and like slowly closes it, looking back in at Octavia with like like several consecutive shrugs, and it looks like I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
Okay,
This
let's
is
just
how sneaking works, I guess.
let's just smell. Let's see if we can find.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I was midway through my description of the room. Alright, so you find a bathtub, a toilet, a sink, all normal appliances that you would find in a bathroom. There's a wooden stool sitting in one corner, kind of like behind the door, but there's like scuff marks on the floor as if it's been dragged out from that position. On a fairly usual basis, I guess. But there's nothing like strange about it. There's no like mysterious carvings. It just seems to be, a sturdy wooden stool. There is a cabinet near the sink, where Valente had gotten all that cleaning supplies, so very many sessions ago. When you open it, you find it is still full of random garbage. There's a hammer in here, a bunch of towels, a book or two. Not like, I guess, normal bathroom books. Another like gross medical text.
When he's on the can.
Gotta read something, right?
Yeah.
And then above the sink, there is a mirror that's on hinges.
Look at Octavia, look at the mirrors. Like, who's doing this?
Who has the best What type of move would this be to make sure that we don't like break the mirror or something?
What?
It's on hinges.
It's on
a door.
hinges. Just open
Oh, it's on
it.
hinge. Oh, just open it. Okay, I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
Athletics
worried.
check.
I was like-
You smash the mirror with your big meaty
No.
hands.
At
Octavia
the
just
look
like
at the look of confusion, Archibald's just like, okay, sure. It just grabs it and opens it.
no, I can do it. I can do it.
There is
That was
indeed
Rand
some
being
sort
dumb.
of medicine cabinet behind the mirror. Everything is in not identical bottles. You see every bottle looks slightly different. And each one is meticulously labeled.
Is there is there mostly familiar labels that we see?
You do see a lot of stuff that is extremely familiar. You see just like your average antibiotic, whatever the equivalent of antibiotics are in medieval fantasy Europe. You find, stuff you'd put on cuts, just a little bit of like burn salve, some itch stuff. You find, just random medicine stuff. But there's a few items on the shelf that you don't exactly know what they are.
Octavia takes one, gently opens it, and like gives a light whiff sniff.
Which one are you opening? One of the
How
mysterious
many
ones?
are there that are unidentifiable?
There's maybe like 3 or 4.
Okay,
They are labeled. They are labeled.
Okay, what is the one that maybe, I guess, right now looks like it would be a salve?
There are a couple that look like salves, but you pick one up. It seems to be sort of like pulpy and green. You open it up. Would you like to give it a sniff?
Yes.
It smells exactly like how Alika smelled before. And now that you give it a sniff, the smell is identifiable as the same one that Valente was wearing. The same cologne Valente was wearing when he got fucked up.
I would.
In a, and then in a few, like in a week or something, I'm like, huh, what's that smelling?
Oh, but that's the thing, because Octavia did go to the infirmary. She knows what that stuff is.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying that Val is going to need it soon.
But yes, you find a jar of that stuff. It's one of the larger jars in the medicine cabinet, and the actual glass of the jar where it screws on and off looks like it's been worn down. So this is one that is used, if not daily, very regularly.
Isn't this like so this is for like physical ailments, like pain or whatever?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to use it this often. This is a big jar.
Yeah.
Who knows how long it's been in use.
Oh my god.
What?
I think we need to talk to Gottfried.
Oh. Wait. You don't think that she's like wasted?
I mean, no, I here's the thing what I'm thinking. I think this is supposed to help with pain. That's what Lothair said.
Uh-huh.
But extended use causes numbness.
Uh-huh.
And Merope sounds like she knows some things, but it doesn't sound like she knows a whole lot of things.
Like how much is too much?
Yeah.
So she just knows that there's some sort of pain relief thing has been.
But not the dose. Or the extended use.
Looking at the bottle, is there like a date or anything remotely printed on it?
It is carefully marked with a date, and as you flip the tag over, it is also carefully marked with a dosage.
What's the date? What's the date?
The date is approximately 4 months before today.
Oh,
and does it still look pretty full? Does it still look pretty
no.
full?
The container looks more than halfway empty.
4 months, and what's the dosage listed?
The dosage is written in a language or perhaps a code you do not understand.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Why
We need to talk to Gottfried. We need to talk to him right now.
Why is there a code?
We are going to talk to him, and he's going to tell us.
Let us go into the basement right now, and then we will burst!
Burst from the bathroom, and Octavia's holding the jar.
Absolute normal one.
Having a normal one with the boys.
Archibald's adventure is in pissing with friends. What the fuck is going on? Okay.
Pissing with my girl Octavia, the thrilling sequel.
The thrilling sequel.
Archibald will piss with all of you before the campaign is over. Watch out!
I think Garrett will object to that.
Yeah.
Can I Ren, can I trade you for the like coat thing? This is worse.
Wait, no. I'm sorry, no takesy backsies.
How did I end up the pisser? How did that happen?
You followed him when he might be going to take a piss. This is this is your cross to bear.
Walks into the bathroom, walks out with a friend.
Why do so many people's secrets in this fucking campaign end up involving the place where people go to piss? What the hell?
I mean, if we're gonna go do something, like, mysterious, off alone, the best way to say it is, I have to go use the bathroom, so don't come follow me.
Yeah.
The
We
problem
just
is that
use the buddy
Archibald
system on the
care.
bathroom.
Archibald doesn't care.
Archibald's like, you
Group
fall, but
activity.
everyone here has been soaked in my fucking blood. What's gonna stop me?
Unfortunately.
I'm so glad that was the fluid you chose for the conversation.
Oh god.
Anyways, continue.
Shut up.
Oh god. Okay.
Continue.
They're gonna go. Octavia's holding the jar,
Okay.
and I'm guessing Archibald is following her.
Yeah.
Octavia knocks on the double pan door.
No answer.
She knocks again.
Is it?
This time there is a slight shuffling sound. But nobody answers the door immediately.
She is going to kick her foot against the door.
Archibald checks to see if it's locked.
It is in fact locked. But whatever's happening downstairs, you can hear someone, presumably Gottfried, yell something up to you guys that doesn't really come through. There's a couple minutes more shuffling, maybe like 3 minutes more of shuffling, and then the lock on the other side of the door slides open, and then one of the doors reveals the guy you're looking for. He was just asleep.
Yeah.
Can we come down and talk for a second?
He looks
Privately.
at you and he says, "Why?"
It's very important. Can the three of us just go down there for a second?
He says, "Fine," and he backs off, allowing you to enter. You are now in his room.
Is there any light?
He does light the candle over one of his desks.
Octavia has the jar secure, and she turns over. What does this code mean?
He frowns at it and he says, "Do you need it?"
No.
I know.
Oh, well then, why do you care?
How much have you given your mother?
He just kind of looks at you for a minute and he says, "Only as much as she needs. She knows how much. I don't give her anything. I just make it."
She as in Merope.
No, she is in my mother. Merope helps. Why?
Oh.
Octavia sets it down. And she's
freak.
Did you say "you freak" and nothing else?
No, she was like, "You fucking," like she's about to say, "You fucking," and that causes numbness over time.
Sure does. You can get some pretty nasty injuries fighting in the arena for so many years. Some of them don't go away. Did you really wake me up for this? And then he holds the jar up again.
Yes, I did. Because you don't fucking know the side effects of that.
I don't know the side effects?
You make it. Why? God fucking.
I do know the side effects, and I'm sure I know the side effects a hell of a lot better than you do.
Okay, I know, you're the doctor. But just things that are meant to cause those type of side effects probably have other side effects, don't they?
Not really.
For everyone, because I don't know if he's lying or no one else was here when no one else was around when Lothair said this, but they do dissolve your nerves if you use too much. That's what she said.
Where does she use it?
I am not required to tell you that information at all. And
Look,
I trust Merope with this much more than I trust you. I barely know you.
Doesn't this shit like dissolve nerves or something? Like what?
Only if you use too much. That's why there's a dosage. I'm not an
Does
amateur.
she? I look at the date on the jar. Like, what is it? It's like a few months ago. You said, Sam,
It's
or a month
pretty
ago?
much 4 months ago, maybe teetering on 5. Not exactly. Ballpark.
Do you think that your mother could be just overdoing it?
I doubt
Getting
it. She knows how much to use.
Have you? Let me ask you. Let me back this up and ask you because you are a doctor. You know things, but have you actually like seen or administered it to her at any point recently?
No.
You haven't. When was the last time that you saw how much of it she was using?
Last time before I left, probably. When I made this, and then he holds the jar up again.
And how long ago was that? Like 3 months, I guess.
4, 5 months, maybe?
Okay.
Listen, I know exactly
Because
how high the dosage is, and I know how much of this bottle should be gone. And it's exactly as I expected. Unless she's secretly making more, which I don't think she's capable of doing, then nothing is wrong. And you people should not be prying into business that you have no reason to be prying into.
Octavia's like, I'm sorry. It just, I smelled it at dinner and I was worried.
Well, that's nice of you, I guess, to worry, but I know more about this than you do by a lot of times, so don't prod into other people's business. And then he looks at Archibald.
I no, yeah, I'm not gonna. He
Octavia just leaves it on the desk.
he It's weird. She seemed to be like walking on her own well and doing stuff on her own until, and then she went in yesterday, or was it yesterday? Sorry, when was Merope here in Canada now?
It was
What time are we
today,
in?
earlier today.
Today.
You're on day 2 still.
When your friend was here, she kind of got up and walked into the bathroom on her own, and then just on her way out, practically passing out, like being almost hand led or dragged across the room.
It can take a lot out of you. It's powerful stuff.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't give it to her if she didn't need it.
That bad, huh?
Like I said, the arena's a rough place. It sticks with
Insight
you.
check. Insight.
Go for it. What are you
Oh,
specifically
God.
asking?
He's like, the arena's that's the like second or third time. He's like, oh, the arena's a rough, but no, bullshit. Come on.
So you're asking whether he's
And
actually like arena truth.
Is there a way more
I'm just
to it
kind
than
of thinking, like, how long has she had to take this?
Yeah, like, is he? That is a. Oh, that's a 16.
He does seem to be dancing around something. That does not seem to be the entire truth. In fact, it hardly seems to be the truth at all.
Archibald pauses Archibald pauses, turns around, goes to turn around before Octavia even does, I assume, just out of a, like, I have pushed Godfrey's buttons enough, and turns to walk up the stairs and stops. And just sort of doesn't turn all the way around, but just turns his head back as, like, when Val took that, salve back in the city for, so, like, it numbs physical pain, but he took it for mental, like, psycho, I'm not a doctor, you know it, psychosymptom, I don't know. You know the word.
Psychosymptomatic.
Yeah, for trauma and grief? That's what Val had it for.
I
Not
wouldn't
for.
know. I wasn't there when she took it. I was only
No,
there for the aftermath.
I know. But,
Hello?
are you okay?
Yeah, we're just.
No,
It's
I'm at.
Octavia's like looking between
Simply
them
that.
now.
You know what would have been maybe a good idea? Ask Val about this before you
Yeah.
decided.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anything.
it would have been like Octavia was just like freaking
Especially
out,
since
like what the
Val
fuck.
doesn't lie, and
Yeah, Val
just
doesn't.
like is blatantly very like doesn't hide shit either. You're like,
Yeah,
hey,
like
why
it was
did you
just
not
more
find
the
me
sense of like the
entire
last
thing?
time Octavia saw that Val was numb for 12 hours. Ugh. And
Oh
it's
boy.
like the constant thing. She just kind of like what the it was more the sense like she wasn't trying to confront Godfrey. It was more like, oh my god, this could be hurting your mom.
Godfrey feels extremely confronted right now.
And Octavia's like, I didn't. It's
He's
not
not
to
happy.
blame you. Just was worried.
Well, you shouldn't be. Don't poke your nose into other people's business. Especially when you don't know what you're talking about.
Octavia gets like, it looks really bad. She almost looks like she's gonna cry.
Godfrey is unaffected by this.
I know. I know. This is just Octavia's thing.
He's going
Octavia
to
just goes up.
he is going to shoo you out of his room. He's going to say, "Well, if that's everything, go back to sleep."
Okay.
Archibald, are you also leaving?
I am leaving without him having to shoo me, but as I stop again on the stairs and turn around and without looking him directly in the eye, I say, by the way,
What?
when your friend was here earlier today, this isn't related, but when your friend was here earlier today, she said that she's been having weird visceral dreams when she comes around. I figured we all discussed the dream thing when you were asleep. Figured you ought to stay updated. And then continue walking upstairs.
As you walk upstairs, you feel almost like somebody like grabbing the back of your cloak.
Huh? What? What was that?
Godfrey has at this point turned away from you and is just like holding the jar, looking at it. And he turns back to look at you. He's kind of surprised that you're still there, and he says, "What's what?"
I just felt I thought did you grab me?
I just told you to get out. Why would I grab you?
I don't know. I felt something.
He just kind of like gives you a like really just tired look, And he again just says, "Go to bed, Archibald."
Yeah, I know. I apologize for, you know. See you tomorrow. And I walk upstairs.
Yeah, he does not deem you with a response. All right. Are you all going to bed? I have
Yes.
one last thing I'd like to get done tonight.
Oh, please. God,
Here we
make
go.
I
me.
love how you I just established maybe asking Val about the medicine would be a good idea, and then you guys are like, yeah, let's go to bed, and didn't talk.
I would say like we could
Do you want to ask
which
Val first? Do you want to ask Val
Yeah,
first before I do my little dance?
Octavia
Archibald
just
doesn't want to
like
ask shit.
Octavia just looks like she's about to cry, and she just is quiet.
Oh,
And
is Val awake?
I mean, I established that he was awake when they went into the bathroom, so I'm gonna say sure.
Okay, I know
He
this is like an emotional scene, but like
It's
Val's
also
point
we
of
gotta
view
wrap.
is like, okay, they go into the bathroom, they take a communal shit, they go downstairs, and now
Yeah.
Octavia's crying. What's
Yeah.
going on?
no,
It's
Val's
like
a little bit baffled right now.
yeah.
So Val's going to walk up to Octavia and sit next to her and go, "Well, hey, whoa, what's up? What's
Well, I just made a mistake. I jumped to conclusions.
sorry, what?"
I smelled the salve that Lothair gave you on Alika, and Archibald smelled it too, so we went to look for it in the bathroom, and we were worried about the dosage, so I was upset, and I went to go talk to Godfrey, and I just made him upset.
The salve. How do you know about that?
I was
Val-
there at the
The
infirmary.
actual jar that he has. Wait, what?
You have more? What?
Val freezes and then nods very slowly and says, my pain has specific triggers, and I know that I'm going to be encountering those soon, and I didn't want to drag anyone down. So before we left, I asked Lothair for a jar.
You know the dosage, right?
I mean, for me, I don't need that much. And if you have too much, it can dissolve your nerves, but my plan was just to apply as little as would make the pain bearable, even if it didn't numb me completely. I normally don't take medicine for this kind of thing. I just deal with it, but again, I didn't want to cause any problems.
It's not a problem, Valente. But I understand why you made the choice.
Not a problem. You haven't seen me on those days. I can't move. I I didn't want everyone to worry and have to wait around. So, but Godfried is a strange man, and I don't understand him at all, really. Even if I cared about him, he's private, and he probably took this as a personal attack or an invasion of privacy when you were expressing concern.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, I can't do anything about it now.
No, but I just want to say I don't think you did a bad thing. I think I think you had noble intentions, and I if you if you had done this to me, I honestly, like, if I had been him in this situation, obviously I'm a very different person, but I would have been glad you cared enough to worry about someone, you know? I wouldn't say you messed up. I would say this is a difficult situation, and you did your best with the information you had.
Thank you, Valente.
All right, are you guys going to bed?
While they're having that conversation,
Yeah.
yeah, Archibald is standing in the kitchen in the dark, I presume, looking
Yeah,
out
it's
the
dark.
window. So at the dark, I assume he doesn't feel anything right now because this doesn't seem to be an at-will sort of
Nope.
haunting.
Oh,
but-
it's a haunting now, huh? Don't you know ghosts aren't real?
What is it with all these like weird devout atheists in the fucking in your Fire Emblem world? I'm a lizard. What do you mean there's no ghosts? We bought the skeleton a few weeks ago. Whatever. But just sort of staring out the window and just listening to them talk and sort of mutter under my breath to whoever might be there. I know you're here. Whoever you are.
Hold on 1 second.
Holy
No,
fuck.
chill out. Chill out.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
You can't fucking do that. You can't interrupt me midway through talking to the dead with a hang on a second.
Do you want to make a perception check?
I wasn't done the monologue, but sure.
Okay, you can keep monologuing. That's fine.
I mean, I was just gonna finish it off
Yeah,
with
you
a.
can go. Keep going.
I'm glad that Sam's finally making you do a perception check. I've been like, come on, do some sort of roll to be
Perceive
like,
people!
yeah,
I know,
Always
I've
be
also
dead
been sitting
people.
here like, come on, check for something.
Sorry.
God. I'm like, do us like even a check for like, hey, am I psychic enough
That's
to
a
see
natural 20! Yes!
Alright, calm down. Do your monologue first.
Haha.
I was going to say, I know you're there. And if you need to talk to someone, I'm here. I know how this stuff goes.
Are you like staring out the window right now? Just like
Yes.
vibing?
Yes.
You stare out the window. It's a couple moments of silence. It started snowing lightly again. Nighttime chills. There's like a bit of light coming from maybe like the bathroom where you guys were investigating. There's a window, so there's a candle still glowing. And it's illuminating the yard just a little bit. And for just a moment, right after you blink, you think you might spot the silhouette of someone in the yard. But not standing in the yard, standing above the yard. Just right in the middle. But then you blink again, and that form is gone.
I stare out at that point. Just sort of whisper again to no one in particular. I see.
Whatever it is, it does not reappear.
No, I know. Well, if you ever need anything, I'm around. And I walk over, and without saying anything, I lie down and go to sleep.
Honestly, I love the energy of just like, there's a spooky, scary specter in this house. Can I get you anything, King?
Do you need a beverage? I'm really good at
Do
drawing
you want water?
glad there to make that joke. I was like, Archibald's fetching water for the ghosty.
Yay!
It's a weird, like, inverse Edwin response, where instead of being, like, unfazed to the point of confusion, it's, no, I know exactly what's going on here. You want to talk about this, or is shit gonna
Balanced
happen?
as all things should be. But like I said, there's one more thing I want to do tonight before I let all of you
Oh
go.
my god.
Can
Oh.
I
Here we
get a
go.
luck check?
Okie
Yeah.
dokie, yes. Strange
Oh, I did
rolls
okay this
again.
time.
And
Val
with-
has
Oh, congrats.
honestly, the fact that Val has not been getting them when Val has shit luck is so funny to me. Oh my
Oh, no.
god!
Oh no. All right, who's got the lowest number? Call him out.
I have a non-natural one.
Yeah, you got the
Oh
lowest
my
number.
Okay. Wow.
All
I
right.
was gonna
Wow.
say I have an 8, but nope. That's
I have a
Valente.
12.
What did
Yeah,
Trikey
I
get?
got 14.
Trikey did the
14.
best this time.
Don't worry, I didn't dream snipe you.
Val has a -3 in luck,
Oh god.
so I
Oh my
really
God.
don't know how he's been avoiding these so hard this whole time.
King. All right. Valente, you finish comforting Octavia. You make sure she gets off to bed nice and cozy. She's feeling a little better maybe. You lay down yourself. You think, "Man, I did a good parenting today." And then you drift off to sleep.
Oh no. Oh
Val
no.
is not Val. That's not how Val think. Val is like Val doesn't think that about himself. If someone was like, "Hey Val, were you a good parent?" He'd be like, "No."
Oh
Oh
no!
no.
Oh no, Val.
Good parents don't let their 6-year-olds die of the flu. Because it was
Oof.
definitely his fault.
No.
No, it's not.
I know it isn't. I know
But
Val's. Yeah,
she
Val's.
thinks that. She
Yeah,
thinks
Val's
that.
having a moment. Anyway,
Uh,
Val's like, cool. I listened to someone, and then goes to bed.
All right,
Mhm.
so you close your eyes, you drift off to sleep, and then suddenly you're in the middle of what looks to be like a small woodland area.
Oh shit.
Okay.
As you look around, you see you are holding your trusty Dullahan in one hand. You're wearing all your armor. You've got your stomping boots on. And before you on the path is just a big old bloody smear.
Yeah. What? Val's gonna go up to that.
As you go up to the big old bloody smear, it seems to be extremely fresh, as in if you touch it, it's still warm. And not only is there one smear, there seems to be a trail of smears leading off into the underbrush.
Hey, question, suggestion for Val to check. Is there blood on your sword?
Does Val have a weapon?
Yeah, Val's
Yeah,
got Dullahan.
Dullahan.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Val's got Dullahan with him.
Yeah, you're fully armed.
Dope. Listen, I'm never aware if Val's not wearing Dullahan around the house. I don't know if he's dressed as he thinks he's dressed. If he's someone else.
No,
I don't know
in the dreams, you are always yourself. I will clarify that.
Mhm.
You
Okay.
always
Yeah.
appear to be yourself.
Yeah. Val's gonna. Is Dullahan clean?
Dullahan is extremely not clean.
Oh.
Dullahan is red.
Is Val bleeding anywhere?
No, and in fact, you seem to have like a sense of job well done. Like you don't know why. You're just kind of in this position, but you feel like, yeah, I did what I gotta do today. That's a chore off my list.
Yeah, Val's gonna keep Dullahan drawn, and he's gonna follow the smears.
As you follow the smears, you hear like the sound of perhaps an animal in the underbrush, like either walking or dragging perhaps itself along. Just making like pained noises. But you don't see it immediately. Do you keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Eventually, the bloody trail stops, and because you are fine and whatever you've stabbed is not, you are faster than whatever this thing is. And as you appear in the clearing, you can see it's some sort of. You see a wing, you see a tail, you see perhaps part of a snout, and you see a lot of blood, but you're not quite sure what you're looking at. It's definitely something dragon-esque, but you're not sure wyvern or beast or
Okay, can I make a
manatee.
bestiary check?
You may.
Okay. Val's not great at bestiary, which sucks. But we're gonna try. King, my god. Yeah, that's a 2. Val's no fucking clue what this is.
Val does not know what she is looking at. It's just kind of a mass of scales. But like as you walk forward, you're like, you in your soul are like, that's probably a wyvern. Like something in your brain tells you wyvern.
Okay.
Just, dream logic tells you that this is a
No,
wyvern.
yeah, okay.
It's stopped moving at this point. It stopped dragging itself along the ground. It's clearly like lethally injured, but it's still not dead, so it's doing a little bit of a writhing. And
It's the wounds it's bleeding from are clearly caused by a sword.
Oh yeah, definitely. It has been cleaved.
Okay.
It groans as it looks back at you and it like tries to scoot away again.
Oh god. I don't think Val like. The thing is, what would Val do? I think Val winces. Does Val recognize the forest that he's in?
Do you want to make like a check for that? A nature check?
Yeah,
maybe?
would that be
a nature check?
a nature check? Okay. Val's not great at those either. Unless I'm. Yeah, no, he's abysmal at them.
Val voice. I know what a leaf is. I seen it.
I'm.
Does Val know what a leaf is?
Val knows what a leaf is. It's a 7, and I'm like, oh boy.
As you look around, excuse me. Wow. As you look around, it's clear that you're not in Solis, because there's no snow. And it's rather warm out. So, you're probably not in Arcanea. Different kind of trees. You're probably not in, like, the swampier southern area of Jugdral, because the ground is rather dry. The grass is, like, yellowed. And the trees they're not very thick trees. So, just, sparse little forest area. There's a path. But
even if Val doesn't know where he is, does he feel like he's been here before?
yeah, you definitely feel like you've been here before. Dream logic is telling you that this is a familiar place.
Okay.
This is not a scary place. This is somewhere you've been, if not often, then at least once.
Okay.
The creature still crawls.
Is there? I mean, can I? Obviously, Val is like, okay, this is a wyvern, but Val doesn't know really much about it. Can he do? Is there anything? Can he do a perception roll to see if there's anything that, like, is weird about it, even if it's?
Yeah, go ahead.
Val, stop fucking rolling 11s without trying to sacrifice things from. That's a 9. Damn.
Dream logic says this is a normal wyvern. Val logic says that it is not. Dream logic, strangely enough, also says it's not. You don't quite know what to do with this set of emotions.
Val never knows what to do about any set of emotions.
But whatever it is, its movements are getting more and more sluggish.
I think Val takes Dullahan and approaches the wyvern with a look of just such sadness and attempts to put the poor beast out of its misery.
It does not fight back, as you put your sword through its head. It stops moving pretty much immediately with a groan. It just kind of flops over to one side. And while Val logic says, I've done something bad, I've killed something, Dream logic says, You could feed a family with this. And then you wake up.
Okay. I think Val wakes up. Is anyone? What is it?
It's still the middle of the night. It's still the middle of the night.
Okay, so no one else is awake.
Mm-hmm.
No. I think Archibald's awake, but
Okay. Well, what he does about this is up to him. I think Val sits up with like a hand over his mouth and like takes very slow and even breaths for a little bit. And then after maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and when his heart rate has settled, he lays back down and tries to sleep.
All right. Sounds good. Does anyone want to do anything before I call it a day?
Archibald isn't moving, but his eyes are cracked open. He's just looking,
On Ghost Patrol, I
not
see.
moving. Well, looking at Val, moving now, but yes, he's thinking.
All right, that seems like a good place to call it then. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh boy,
I'm
haunted.
concerned about the haunting of this house.
Yep.
So Godfrey's got a dead sibling or something, and it's.
I mean, Sam did say in the most literal of terms that he is the more upstanding citizen. So maybe his sister can't stand because she's dead.
Yeah.
You don't stand up when you're lying in a coffin. Yeah, no. Okay, so it's. I'm so glad I rolled a natural 20.
I know, that was such a Chad move.
That was so good.
The bar for passing was 20.
Oh wow.
I wasn't gonna give you anything. I'm like, I gotta give him some. Good work. I'm so glad I gave you so many pieces of the puzzle today. I hope you all put them together. In some way.
I think
I am a moron.
I can assume, but because I don't have the full picture, it's kind of like,
you're missing a lot of pieces.
Also, like, the one thing that Octavia confronted from, she then felt terrible about.
Oh yeah, y'all want that updated,
I'm guessing it's not good.
Yeah, hold on. I've been updating it as we go.
Oh, fun.
I'll put it
what
on
was
this
I
stream.
gonna say about a thing?
No, I'll take it in now.
Here it is.
Hold on, I have bad eyes.
Oh god, she's at D now with him.
I was gonna say, if it doesn't lower their support, I'd be
Octavia has
surprised if it
entered
does.
Godfrey's shit list.
Yep, to be expected. Yep.
Was Archibald already there?
Yeah, Archibald got up to C and then went back to D. During
the confrontation. It's like, it just went and, yep.
Oh boy. Everyone I still am obsessed with somehow Val, like, despite being, like, the most blunt and, like, just, he says whatever's on his mind, everyone's like, yeah, I guess he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Val's, like, cool.
I think it's because, like, I will say, I think, Dwyer, me and you joked that, Octavia and Valente were at B+ support. I think, at least on Octavia's end, she's at A support with Valente now.
Crying, sobbing, etc.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I
actually was crying there. I was like,
oh no!
I think I felt just the idea.
Don't let the rude man. Don't let the rude man who isn't real get to you.
I know.
I was like, no lie. I wasn't crying at all through. I mean, I could hear, but I wasn't crying. And then we just finished making jokes, and just like 2 tears came out of the corners of one of my eyes. It's like, what the fuck are they doing there?
The power
of
emotions. The power my campaign has over you people.
The power of storytelling.
I was so busy being like a bastard as Archibald that, like, we finished with the role play, and my body was like, okay, 2 tears. Just 2.
Oh god.
Like, Jesus Christ,
I
really?
mean,
Fuck.
it's hard to hear that someone doesn't trust you and that you've managed to make that worse.
Yeah, like it, and also for everyone here, it's like in a weird sort of way, Octavia has put like some of her ideas of her brother onto Godfrey, and just getting that rejection just adds a double whammy.
Oof.
Be like,
Oof.
oh, I fucked up.
Oof. Big oof.
Oof. Big
It's
oofs.
okay now. She has older brother,
Yeah,
new one.
new one. Now she has new one.
New one. New and improved.
Archibald has increasing respect and trust for Godfried in some ways, but it's rapidly shifting from maybe he's plotting to do something really evil to. Frankly, I know that there's been no indication of this really like in canon for most of the characters, but Archibald at this point is like he's got a dead family member or something that he's trying to bring back, and he's just going to fucking like, but he doesn't really believe in like ghosts, or at least acts like he doesn't. This dude's like wading into shit creek, like.
Oh, the things that I know that are eating me out from the inside out.
Yep.
No, that's not what you meant. That's not what you meant to
Yeah,
say.
no, they're eating me from the inside out. But just to note, certain characters, you probably do have to end up on their shit list before you can get on their good list. So don't be discouraged.
Oh, what do you think Archibald is as a character? Like, that's his arc for everyone.
I'm just thinking, like, well, it can go up, it can go down, and Octavia is basically just gonna be like, I'm just going to give Gottfried space until he's willing to talk to me again.
Archibald's doing the opposite. He's taking a tack of, I'm going to tell you everything in a non-confrontational way, and I'm going to make you, Mr. Ghost Don't Exist, put the fucking pieces together for yourself in that thick skull of yours. It's like, yeah,
Scully,
no,
you're not
Val.
gonna believe this.
Yes, we are truly X-filing this.
This isn't even the main mystery of the campaign. I love this.
This is just a side mystery.
We
Bro,
just got to
Archibald
side quest.
has a conspiracy theory board. I have a conspiracy theory room.
Fun.
But yes, I'm glad you're enjoying the pieces that I'm throwing out onto the table, because I didn't expect to put most of these pieces on the table today. I did not expect this last few days at Godfried's house to really do anything. I thought we would be in a completely different location by like hour 1. But I'm glad we're
created
not.
a character
I
that's
wanted to meet
basically...
Merope, and then it just
Yeah,
fell into
this
place.
is
Yeah.
us going. Show us Merope.
Oh my god! Who was the one that like jokingly wanted to talk to Merope about weird dreams? Because when that happened, I was like, you don't know the can of worms, you just don't.
Archibald, it was Archibald.
It's
Funny
always
meme
that
question?
It's
No such
always
thing.
Jepathy.
I have intentionally created. I know you, Samantha. I created a character that is a metaphorical crowbar, just like.
I
Oh,
know you
what
did.
got there?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
This is the sort of like B plot and character created by two people who know each other too well in real life. It's like, oh, I know what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna create someone who's gonna crack it open like a walnut.
Yes. I am going to continue playing or making NPCs that play extremely hard to get, knowing that Archibald has my back and will try to harvest them for information.
I've created a man with no dignity and too many questions. He will never stop asking until he is dead.
I love him. I love all your characters. I'm very happy with this cast of characters and players. I just want to
Yay.
say, this is probably the
Yay.
most fun I've had in any tabletop game, player or DM. Having a lovely
Wow.
time.
I mean, I'm
Aw.
glad that I was in one of them, but geez. Kidding.
Not that all the other times I've played weren't also great, but this
No.
one is particularly
No,
fun.
I know. That's why I'm kidding. I know you.
I
We all had a
didn't, I
great
didn't put mysteries in the last one. The last one was just like Fire Emblem Heroes.
time.
But
Yeah,
what if
like
it
you're
was
you're
evil?
building a world in this one.
Yeah,
this
this
is
one.
no for real.
I get to
completely
play with
share
my
worlds.
little freak Barbie dolls, not Intelligent
Oh,
Systems little freak Barbie dolls.
Fuck me. That's
Emblem.
tier number.
Heroes!
That's the third tier coming out of the left eye now. What the fuck?
Aww, I'm
Were
gonna
they
make
just,
you
like-
cry.
Did I just have like? Was I just too busy role playing and there was like a couple tears and my body was just like, hey, you're just gonna hold them for now. Just wait till the role play's over. Just like, what
I
the
mean,
fuck?
I don't know if this is something that happens to you, but it does happen to me. But I have dry eye, so who knows? But occasionally,
Watery
my
eyes.
eyes.
I have
Yeah, so
allergies, yeah.
Sometimes I'll just be lying down and like chilling, and then my body is like, okay, even though our tear ducts are way too big, let's flush them out. Let's go.
Let's
And I just,
go!
like my eyes start watering for like 5 minutes.
No, it's not an allergy or like dry eye thing. That's just how my emotions work. Like
Oh,
rarely
bestie.
ever cry, and I never cry like in the moment. It's always like a few hours later, or in this case, a few minutes. It's like I think back on the thing, and then it's like, oh, that's where the tears were. Whoops,
Well,
they were delayed a little bit.
I'm glad I could delayed make you cry. I'm gonna do it again.
Also, to end on a better note, everyone make a wish. It's 69 degrees in New Jersey.
Yo!
Nice.
Nice!
Fucking go.
Let's
wait.
go! It's 65 here.
It'd
Hold
be
on.
even better if it was 420.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Hold on, I have to
420 degrees.
check how cold it is here. 'Cause I'm very close to New Jersey.
It's 64 in North Jersey.
Oh god, I'm warm.
Yeah. It's 60 in Yonkers. But then I also have my AC on because there's something wrong with me.
No, you're so
No,
valid.
I'm trying to hold off. It's 72, but it's a 54% humidity where I am. Because I
Yoey.
live in the south.
Ooh. I'm so sorry. But anyways,
did this
does
to
anyone
myself.
have any campaign related last notes before I
You just want us to have version 3
Oh, yes!
charts.
Version
Mhm.
3 sheets.
I-
I will do the NPCs hopefully
Mhm.
tomorrow. I will tell you when I'm done, like, okay, you can look at these for reference. You might see new information pop up on the NPC sheets because there's a few things that I just like when I originally made them, I was just like I forgetty, and then I didn't put them on there. Not like game breaking stuff, just like minor information. So I'll be updating that along with the new sheet format. So if you guys want to just wait till I do those, at least one of them, take a look, just copy and paste based off that.
When do you think you're gonna get the tab thing set up?
Probably tomorrow,
Okay.
because I'm tired. I don't want to do it now.
Yeah, it's late.
It's late. I completely understand. I want to do it as soon as possible because otherwise I will forget to do it.
I will ping you. I will ping you all when I'm like, I did mine. So
Okay.
I gotta go back and do it for every like character that I've made so far that hasn't appeared yet. It's gonna be a
Including
fucking
the
nightmare.
secret
Oh
boss.
no,
Oh,
bestie.
There are a lot of fuckers running around that you guys haven't met yet. But yeah, thank you all for another lovely session. I love it when you guys roleplay.
I love it too. It's so much fun.
We'll try to do more rolls, and well, honestly, all the rolls that we did do well, it was worth it for the natural 20.
The nat 20 at the end.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh my god.
Sam keeps putting things where she's like, okay, they have to get at least a 20 to clear this. And then
All the good stuff, all like the good stuff, I gotta make you work for it. And by work, I mean roll a random number very good.
yeah, and then I mean, Sam was like, you have to beat a 20 on the speed check for level 3rd thing, and then I roll a 24 because Val's built fucking different.
Built
That was great.
different. Oh, but yes. Excellent work, everyone. Good job. Alright. See you next week.
Yeah.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, gamers. Goodbye.